It's time for all your friends and Nutters. I know you love the Nutters. It's Friday time again. Nutter watching Nutters. Shut up and watch the show. Oh, it started with a vegan nutter. Doobie Ryder is a douche from long ago. Then it picked back up with the Angry Alan saga now. Nutter watches every Friday, and the internet is full of them, so we will never run out. Here we go, it's Nutter Watch again. Here we go, it's time for all your friends and Nutters. I know you love the Nutters. It's Friday time again. Nutter watching Nutters. Shut up and watch the show. It's Nutter Watch again. Here we go. It's time for all your friends and Nutters. I know you love the Nutters. It's Friday time again. Nutter watching Nutters. Shut up and watch the show. Here we go. It's Nutter Watch again. Here we go, it's time for all your friends and Nutters. I know you love the Nutters. It's Friday time again. Nutter watching Nutters. Shut up and watch the show. Whoa, whoa. What?
Hi, you're with Scott, and it's time for Shut up, she's not going to stop. Hi, it's Scott.
Here we go, it's Nutter Watch again. Here we go, it's time for all your friends and Nutters. I know you love the Nutters, it's Friday time again. Nutter watching Nutters. Shut up and watch the show.
You shut up. You've done your song. You shut up. You shut up, we've done your song. Hiya, my name's Scott. Hi, it's Scott, Super Chuffer Midnight, always midnight. This is your right ear, and your left ear. This is in Monos. And big up you in chat. This is live, Sats. This is live. Shouts out the cult. Big up Eamonn Holmes. I had to quickly go to Spain. O'Hara Davis had to quickly go to Spain. Shouts out ABC. O'Hara Davis had to quickly go to Spain. The £5 weed. Coogan Cassius's bent legs. Hang on, I should know more memes than this. I should have way more memes than this. Coogan Cassius's bent legs. £5 weed. Had to quickly go to Spain. Big ups the wrong Missy. Big ups Lisa. Big ups Blank Faces. Big ups Everest. Evster. Big ups Lynn. And what we're going to do for you today. Bit of a weird nut to watch, I suppose. Bit of a weird nut to watch. Bit of a summary sort of weird nut to watch. To be honest, right? To be honest, I'll be brutally honest with you. Eyelid fucking Tracure has done 2 episodes on this Jay Slater thing now on This Morning. Isla Tracure. Between you and me, I remember her from the Nicola Bully case. You might remember me from such cases as the Nicola Bully's case, where she went on This Morning and said that she'd gone to St. Ives. Now, Alan had the video of this, and we watched it through Alan, didn't we? Do you remember? Alan and his Isla Tracure. He loves that Isla Tracure, right? So, Alan and Isla Tracure, right? Alan had the video on that, and I remember her saying, she went to St. Ives, she talked to people, she came up with this thing about the altercation on the path. Didn't she? Well, it was never an altercation, was it? It was Alan invented the word altercation. It was a different word. Anyway, it turned out the police followed it up. It was nothing. She seemed to have made it up out of fucking nowhere. Really handy for her because she had something to talk about on This Morning. Bit different from everyone else, and it's happened again in the Jay Slater case. She's gone out there, and unlike Mark Thomas, who's got nothing to say on behalf of, she's now, strangely, at the same time as Mark Thomas arrives, Murdoch Media, so does she, and she's out there now, and she's got interesting new things to say that you haven't heard before. So we need to sort of cover it, but I don't want to cover it here on Battery Exhausted, and I don't really want to do a live Super Chuffer on it either, so I might do it on Twitch later and then upload it to Super Chuffer, because I don't know where the crossover lines are. And it's same with Luke this week as well. Luke's done 2 episodes that we'd probably look at on Twitch, and I might upload them to Battery Exhausted, but I don't know where the crossover lines are. Like, you know, here I'm taking the pee out of internet lolcows, looking at strange people, but also I want to move and veer towards also just looking at eccentric different people, and sometimes not taking the piss out of them, and sometimes just saying, well, that's strange and different, what an interesting thing. But you know, like Nutterwatch, as the song said, they wanted a song yesterday, so I've done them a song.
What again? Here, watching Nutterwatch again. Here we go, it's Nutterwatch again. Here we go, it's time for all your friends and nutters.
Big ups Cheeky Chops, thank you for the £3 super chat.
I know you love the nutters.
Actually, I always forget to do this. If you want the thing to be read out on the screen, coffee.com, super chuffer. This is the link for Super Chuffer. If you want it read out on screen, that's the link, and it will do it. You know how it works. So I wrote this little song.
It's Friday time again.
And the lyrics are, it started with a vegan nutter. Durian riders a douche from long ago. I don't know if you even fucking know this. I don't know if you all know this. All right, tonight I've got sexy diving for you. Got some sexy death diving. We're going to watch DSP crying. I'm going to explain how Slate Rock is formed, because this lady, not that lady with the cake, but this lady, our favourite No Place Like Home truther homeschooler, flat earth homeschooler, has been teaching her kids that rocks are old trees. We'll get into it. And this lady is a reaction to the Trump debate. She's got a reaction to the Trump debate.
Fuck.
Bit of a different reaction to the Trump debate, really.
You guys are so weird. If you guys want to give anything to me, click on the $sign at the bottom and do a super chat. Thank you, that is so sweet. I'm like, again, what am I blaming men for? I'm stating the obvious. There are a lot of men that are sad because they're virgins and they're losers and they can't get a fucking girlfriend. Fuck you. They can't get a girlfriend. They're just complete, like, worthless losers and virgins. It's like, I'm just saying, go get a job or lower your standards. I'm just stating the fucking obvious.
Oh, wait. If I had the filter on the whole time and it's been making it loud. I've had the compressor on the whole time. I apologise for that. The sound might have been a bit weird on the videos.
Of course I'm a Trump supporter. I am an avid Trump supporter. I've always been a Trump supporter. Yes, if it's not clear enough. Yeah, don't let the blue fool you. I am a Trump supporter. And
so we'll be checking in on what the things she had to say. She got quite eggy, really. She got quite eggy last night doing a little stream. I just happened to discover it. She went on for 9 hours. We won't be watching all of it, but she had some pretty choice words to say about men. So I wonder what's happened to her. Like, bit of a strange ladies. So we've got her strange ladies. We've got Dark Side Phil's going to do a cry. I'm going to explain to you about rocks and how this lady's teaching some nonsense. That's going to be interesting. I'm going to introduce you, if you haven't seen before, the sexy death diving. You'll like that. You will like that. That's going to be a bit of a highlight for us. We're coming up to the World Championships again. So I checked this out a couple of years ago. If you haven't seen it, we'll introduce you to it. We're also going to look, of course, what's the big headline on the thing, on the video? Why have I done a thumbnail? Why are we not discussing Alan or Luke or even Edis, right? You know, we'll talk about that. And then we'll also talk about this. Uh-oh. What the fuck? Oh. Some people don't like it when I go on to the This Morning, right? Oh, they do. They don't. They love it. Shut up, do they not like it? Right? Big ups.
Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
Whoa. Thank you, Lisa. I was going to respond to your tippy, so I withdrew the mug from my mouth before I'd finished drinking the tea, and now it's all on my leg. Bonus. Thank you for the tippies. We're having a bit of fun, but there is a deeper backstory to this, which is that the Manchester media mafia, Eamonn Holmes, big up Eamonn Holmes. Hey? I need buttons for that, don't I? It's about time I had a button for that. We're going to sort the buttons out probably tonight or tomorrow on the Twitch stream. We'll do some admin And we'll sort out some buttons.
Now hold on, Lorraine.
Because I haven't got a bigger Eamonn Homes button, and I really should do.
Now hold on, Lorraine.
Like, this is no joke, right? It is a joke because it's battery exhausted, but it is no joke. Eamonn Homes is big in with Jim McDonald from Coronation Street. They are big friends. Now, Jim McDonald from Coronation Street is big friends with Luke. Look on this channel at the videos, go and look at them that I've done reacting to Luke and his interviews and his behaviour. Go and look at the Luke reactions and interviews. I'm going to do a best of video that introduces you to it all. Blimey. Blimey, I tell you. So, Eamonn Homes, Manchester Media Mafia, big mogul. He did an interview. He's done a few. What's his name? Jim McDonald from Coronation Street's done a few. They described Manchester at the time, back in the day, you know, as being like this mad place with all, like, it's 24-hour party people, isn't it, Manchester? But they used to have all the celebrities. Take That. Oasis. I mean, let's be fair, Oasis were pretty big, weren't they? And Manchester United, all the footballers, all that going on. Runis, Ronaldos. Like, they've had it all going on at Manchester. Big names, big players, big faces. You know, Manchester Media Mafia. And Luke is worming his way in from the bottom up by doing an interview with Jim McDonald. And these are the old... Now, he's not so popular anymore, is he, on the telly, Eamonn Homes? There's a bit of a thing going on with him. He's having a bit of a rocky patch. But it's the Manchester Media Mafia, innit? So when I'm talking about Eamonn Homes, don't think I'm just veering off into sort of just, this morning and gossip and, like, you know, and all this. There's a deeper story to this. There's a massive, deep rabbit hole story to this. And you know where it goes, don't you? Come on, somebody in chat, tell me where it goes. I'm bringing up the video. Someone in chat, tell me where it goes. You know where it goes, you know what it all points to. You know where it goes, don't you? Someone in chat, tell me where it goes. You know. Come on, what's this video I'm about to play? You know where it goes. Where does it goes?
Wet, wet. Young Wedger, Luke Kelly, Peter Falling Jim from Coronation Street.
The assembled masons I bring you. Big up Eamonn Homes. Big up Eamonn Homes. Big up Eamonn Homes. Big up Eamonn Homes. Whoa, whoa, yeah.
Whoa, 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 yeah. Now, there is a bit of a delay on when I'm singing, and there's a slight sound delay, so if I don't sound exactly in sync or out of tune, then it's probably the delay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Big up Eamonn Homes. Big up Eamonn Homes. Big up Eamonn Homes. Big up Eamonn Homes. Oh.
Eamonn Homes. Big up Eamonn Homes.
Big up Eamonn Homes.
Big up Eamonn Homes.
Ow! Stop touching me there, Eamonn.
Whoa, whoa, yeah.
How'd you think Jim from Coronation Street got in that wheelchair? Whoa, 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 yeah. Yeah. Eamonn Homes. Jay Slater bummed to death by the Masons. Big up Eamonn Homes.
Big up Eamonn Homes. Big up Eamonn Homes.
Lynn, the Grand Masonic urn is on before you start. Could the Grand Masonic whip round for the tea? If anyone wants tea and biscuits today, the Masons are not providing the tea and biscuits today. We've run out of biscuits because someone was a bit greedy at the last meeting, so we're having a quick Masonic whip round for some digestives.
Big up Eamonn Homes.
Don't tell me you haven't got any monies. Don't tell me you haven't got any monies. We've paid out your Masonic, you know, you've paid your Masonic monies into the Masonic system. We've given you your Masonic contracts for money make. I know what money you're making. Pay into the tea urn, the tea kitty. We need chocolate. I want chocolate digestives today. Why am I? Hang on. Why am I I'm not the master. Why am I the what do they call it? The treasurer. Why am I the treasurer for the Masons all of a sudden? Why am I running the tea run? I don't want to fuck about doing the tea. I'm not a tea boy for the Masons. That's Luke.
Wedger, it's time to get...
No one cares what you prefer in the Masons. You don't get your preferences. You have to adhere to the rules of the Masons. Listen, I've had to come in on my day off to sort out the tea order for the Masons.
Wet.
You don't get to say. Before you know it, they'll be sending me up Costa. I can't go up Costa. I'm busy getting bummed to death. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This isn't a premiere. This is live, Dover and Dolly's mom. This is live. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
There will be tea and sandwiches served in the great Masonic canteen following this ceremony.
So, look, you've heard that song before, but I'm just enjoying myself now. Literally just enjoying myself now. I've got other songs. Don't think I haven't, but I can't show you the software because I've written some songs with... I just couldn't. So, some bad ones. Not bad ones that are bad, but bad ones where people go, oh, that song's about me probably, and I don't like it. And I'll be like, it's funniest, but they don't like it. So, since we're not doing that, let me just quickly hack into my library of songs and just search quickly for Masons. Because I think Have I got anything else with Masons? Oh yeah, I've got others. I've definitely got others actually. What about this one?
Masons we bumper, 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 Masons we bumper.
Masons we bumper, Masons we bumper,
Oh, Masons we bum the kids, 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 oh, Masons we bum the kids.
So, let's move into our next segment, which is going to be, I mean, what order do you want it in? Maybe I should ask you at home. I mean, what do you know about it? What do you know about it? What do you know about it? I want to talk about, this is a stories, this one. This one is a story, so I think I build up to this one. We want to have a watch of that, but I've just built up to it, so maybe we should watch this first. This is a stories. I mean, it is a stories. We've also got, I think we're going to finish on the death diving, because that's a bit summer. It's a bit of a laugh, a bit of a summer. Finish on the death diving, build that up. I want to watch Phil crying, just out of, I bring to you some old Phil on the random, don't I? And I thought today we'd watch him crying. And I want to watch the truth. I think that's the first thing we do. We'll watch Phil crying, then we'll do the homeschool. Bit of homeschool for you, because that can't last that long, because it's awful. We want to keep checking in with this lady.
I just couldn't find any red to wear. And that's a permanent ban. Brian, you are a fat, obese slob. Fat, pathetic slob. Let's add some more zeros. Brian, you're a fucking fat, pathetic loser. You need to go get a fucking job. You need to go get a fucking job. You will never even get 100 subs. You need to fucking quit posting on your disgusting, pathetic channel. You need to go get a fucking job. McDonald's wouldn't even hire some of you guys. Do you guys understand that?
No, you little smile. You little smile. I think she does it deliberately because I think some of the men like being talked down to. That's what I think this channel is. I can't quite decide. I'm not really sure. I can't remember what her name was. Something else. She's changed her name since yesterday to just X, I think. But actually, I think her name is something like... Oh, I've forgotten. It was up on the screen yesterday when I looked at it. Ask Me Anything is the name of the stream. And she's apparently got 50,000 subs, but they seem to be quite easy to come by on YouTube these days. So, like, the whole premise is she's just really fucking mean to people. I don't know if that's the whole show. I mean, it seems like an attitude thing that she's got, but maybe the men like it. Big ups me and Green.
I'm not blaming men for anything. I'm trying to give you guys valid advice. Again,
I don't really want any advice from you, you chuffer.
If you are a man that's a virgin. And
not a virgin.
If you are a man that hates women.
I don't hate women.
You're a virgin.
But you're making me a bit, like...
You need to fucking knock it off. You need to fucking stop. What you need is a job.
Right.
What you need is a job or two.
Why don't... Is that mutually exclusive? Like, if you're an angry virgin, do you not have a job? Why are we like out like maybe? wait. Are we specifically targeting the angry virgins? Is that what we're doing? And we're being aggressive to them because they don't have jobs. This is like a definite niche. She's really angry at a very niche.
Lower your fucking standards. It's basic fucking listen. It's basic economics here. Basic logic. You either lower your standards or go get a job. Well,
listen, I wouldn't lower my standards dating this lady, so I don't know I'm not going to take her advice. I don't want to lower my standards. It's really interesting hearing her berate people, and I've listened to more of it yesterday, so I've already got an opinion, but it's really interesting listening to her berate people. But I suppose, do I fall in the same boat here without the self-reflection? Nah, I do a little bit of self-reflection, and I do not behave like this to the people that are watching.
There's no fucking blaming going on here. If you're a virgin man...
Bearing in mind, she's talking to the people in her chat.
You need to lower your standards.
In fact, to come in on my
problem.
Day off.
Their standards are over here when they're like over here. It's like, no, you either get a job so you could move up, or you date a girl in your league. Go all the way down and date a girl in your league. It's fucking basic. Alright? There's no fucking blaming here. It's just like economics. Listen, it is no different than cars. You can't go to a Lamborghini dealership and demand that the Lamborghini dealer gives you for free.
No, but dating is not like cars, because I will not be going to a dealership and demanding an expensive ladies, even if I have the monies. I'd rather not pay for the ladies. That would be a really bad premise to start on.
You would be thrown out and trespassed if you went to a Lamborghini dealership. Demanding free car or demanding Lamborghini for...
Now listen, you might look like a sporty car, but when I look under the hood, I don't think there's enough in the engine for me.
$20. You understand you'd be thrown out and trespassed. It's the same thing with women. The reason why you guys keep getting rejected is because you're obviously, like, you're not dating women in your league. You either need to get jobs, get more money, or go down. Go to the skateboard shop.
The skateboard shop? Why are there lower status women at the skateboard shop? I don't understand that. I've never even seen an actual... I've seen skate shops where they sell all sorts of goodies and different things, and also skateboards. But I didn't know the skateboard shop was the skank shop. But yeah, I'm not going to be... I don't have a problem getting... Like, this is funny as well, because like over the course of my life, obviously, I've dated people. I've had, like... You know, you go up to people in a bar sometimes and say, hey, baby, can I buy you a drinky? And they say, no, fuck off. And you think, all right, then. Like, you know, you do get rejected sometimes, but it's fine. Like, I suppose over the statistical... melee, it balances itself out, but God help the people who listen to this advice. Go step down in social status. You're aiming too high.
It's like literally, it's basic sense. This is universal.
Universal.
You know, and I know you guys are so, you know, mad.
But what I understand is that she perceives the status, like, I mean, I wonder how she understands the status. She was saying about it being a job, so if you win the lottery but you're fat and ugly, then she'll date you.
You guys want free, and you guys are...
Oh no, wait, you've got to do it with a job.
Entitled little pigs, but it's just the reality.
Now listen, I'm no beta male. Woo, so I won't work for somebody else, so fuck your job. I'm in charge, I'm the boss. Sex tips from the Beano here or something. Sex tips from fucking Andrew Tate or some shit. Except she's a ladies.
Reality. And if you have enough...
She's a real sweetheart, isn't she? That's the point, wrong, Missy. Yeah, I think what was striking to me about it is, like, after a little while, and I'll play a bit more and you'll hear a little more, is after a while I was thinking, so these are the criteria for men, but what's the criteria for ladies under your watch? Because you seem very sort of traditionalist, or maybe... what's the word, conservative in your viewpoint. Like, she said she's a Trump supporter, and it's come up after the debate, I suppose, but is this the way, like, according to her, like, not according to me, I'm happy for ladies to be proactive, like, you know, independent, all the women independent, throw your hands up at me. I wonder if there were men running that record company that made the money off that. Anyway, I'm very, you know, I'm very modern, for, you know, equality for all, you know, obviously, like, you know, all that business, Jermaine Greer, hey. But I don't know if this is actually, like, you know, I don't know if this, to get into it more deeply and psychologically, I don't know if this isn't actually playing into the hands of the patriarchy, the way she's behaving, and if her behaviour doesn't actually sit outside of the mould or pattern of the sort of behaviour, conservative style values that she appears to be purporting for herself.
If you have an IQ,
I wonder whether, like I said, I wondered whether it was deliberate, so that she's like, I'll be mean to people on the internet and they'll give me monies, and they like it, yeah, and they like it. I don't get a good vibe from it. I don't enjoy it, but I'm pretty confident there are people out there that do, if you know what I mean.
you higher than 70, you will understand.
I'll step on you with my shoe, you silly naughty man, and you give me your monies. Maybe that's where Alan's monies goes.
This. That's a permanent ban. Bentley, you are a fat, pathetic pig. You are a worthless, good-for-nothing loser with a micro-peen and obese. All of my social medias are in my link tree. Don't ask me stupid questions. I'm gonna be banning spammers. Obese.
She laughed again. All my social medias are in my link tree. Don't ask me stupid questions. And you're obese.
My link tree is pinned in chat. It's a permanent ban.
The ban hammer's getting thrown around. I imagine she's angering people though.
Real.
You can't. There's no point in me showing you the chat replay because they're all banned. The people that said whatever she didn't like.
Maggot, thank you. You're so sweet.
Maggot.
You guys are so nice.
People do give her monies as well. She's a new one on my Nutterwatch radar. Came up yesterday when I was scrolling through the shorts.
Is that good? Yeah, that's great. Yeah, definitely. Being nice is like a huge thing, you know. If you want like a girl to, or if you want to impress a girl, like being nice, like there's nothing more impressive than like being a nice guy, you know, or like, you know, being a nice guy or like genuinely being a good person. This is something that, you know, girls, I think is very important. And now more than ever, because most men are pigs. Most men are...
Whoa. It is important to be nice, but it's also important to stand up for what's right as part of being honourable. You know, having integrity doesn't just mean going around just sort of going like, oh, well, I'll let you walk all over, miss. And, you know, like, there's being nice. I do appreciate, you know, in the networking sense of things, not saying anything bad, rising above it and all this. Like, what we do over here is we have a good laugh at people who are nutters on the internet, yeah? So, like, I'm not out here to be some, as accused, stand accused in the past of being some horrible bullies, but people are going to attack me. They're going to get it back. And the sort of nicey nice. I thought nice guys finished last. I thought, like, but I'm not advocating for being an arsehole, but talking about nutters, how is Alan? Yeah, we'll talk about him in a minute, we will, yeah. It's a very interesting concept, though, for her to be preaching that people should be nice in the midst of all her bile.
Horrible people. Most men are incels, so if you're a guy...
there we go again. Here we go.
A nice person, like it's very attractive to a woman. There's nothing more attractive than a guy that's genuinely nice, you know? Genuinely just so nice.
Good.
Those are the kind of women that guys like the most. I'm being serious. That is so nice. All right, bye. Have a nice day. I never told you that you're an asshole or that you're a liar. Like, you know, you got to be real with yourself. You might not be as nice as you think, or maybe I don't know, maybe you're just not as nice as you think. That's normally the problem. Most men in my chat are pigs. That's true. Most women don't really care about looks like guys do. It's like guys that care more about looks than women do. Women don't really care. Do I read books? No. Absolutely not. Yeah, and all of the women inside my chat confirming, like, the best personality a guy could have is being a nice guy. Like genuinely a good person, you know? Like honest, nice.
She seems quite nice now, actually. She's doing all this nice talk.
No. What women are obsessed with their looks. The multi-billionaire. Do you think he's gonna care about money? Do you think he's gonna care, or like, do you guys kind of get what I'm saying? Or like, if like if a guy's a multi-billionaire, do you really think he's gonna care if the woman he's dating has? No, he's not gonna care because he.
We'll get on with that again in a minute. Scroll up 2-pack is her mod. What? There is no scrolling. You look at in my thing. Sorry, I had a distraction just happened. Alright, 2-pack's here in my chat. Not proud to say I've been a mod for her for 4 years. It's an act and she's mentally unwell with millionaire parents. She was on Dr. Phil. Fuck, what? Really? Really? I mean, I don't tend to believe just any old shit that gets said in my chat, you know? Like, everyone that watches me is a fucking nutter. No, I don't tend to... you're all fucking sad, bastard, pathetic men. No, I don't tend to believe everything that's just said in my chat. But that is... If that... I mean, I'll take it as... I'll take you for your word, and if that's the case, this is going to be a brilliant rabbit hole to fall down, isn't it? Because I just discovered her yesterday scrolling through the shorts, and she was just giving out the shit to people. Like, she was like just laying into people.
No, but just trust me. Listen, if you are a guy and you're just trust me. If you're a man and you are tall or above average looking, trust me. Talk.
Get fucked. Buffering. Get fucked with your buffering.
Each and every single one of you guys in my chat. Guess my height. And you are tall. If you date an obese girl, she'll pay to be with you. She'll be obsessed with you. That's just the way it is. But guess my height. Taller than all of you guys. Guaranteed, taller than each and every single one of you.
She loves it when she says these things that like little disses or even quite big disses. She goes on a big smile. It's a really interesting thing. I should have timestamped all the worst things because it's a 9-hour stream. I thought just then she was going to go into it, and I didn't stay in her stream and listen to it all night. So I thought I'd got the worst of it or the best of it, so to speak there. But we'll check back in with her as we go. What an interesting story. And as our streams evolve over the coming weeks, we will have a look at her. Search Playmate to see if you're interested. She's on a lot of conference. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I am. Yeah. And the Dr. Phil, I'll get the Dr. Phil up now if she's been on Dr. Phil. If that's on the internet, I'll get that up right now. I'll get it up now. I'm not one of those beta males. I can just get it up right now. This is a different woman. Okay, I'll look at the different woman another time. I'll check her out and look at her another time. What about the Dr. Phil? Wait. Let's move that onto another window. What about the Dr. Phil? Let's have a look for Dr. Phil. What's this woman's name that I'm looking at? What's the woman's name that I'm looking at even? What's her name, 2-pack? I don't even know her fucking name. So yeah, we'll get to that. Let's look at Phil doing a cry.
That like...
Playmate, is that the same woman that I was just watching? Playmate Issy, that's her name? That same woman? I'm just such a bad streamer right now. I'm just falling apart. Look. It's the same woman. It doesn't look like the same woman.
I heard about hearing of this Africa thing.
Oh, it sounds like her.
Because it's like, okay, well, you know, if the kids in Africa, like, want the food I throw, like, throw in the trash so bad, then they could come and fucking get it. No, like, really? They could come and fucking get it. Like, if they want it so fucking bad, then okay, then, like, they could fucking get it. They could do that.
That sounds just like her.
If they want it that bad, they could just come and get it. You know?
Oh my god, look at him stomping around in those shoes. What the fuck? I assume because the t-shirt, the mess of the house, she was just chilling at home. She's wearing, like, stiletto shoes and socks.
So why is everybody, like, so mad at me? Oh, like, you're wasting food.
Listen, part of me I'll be real about this, right? I've dated girls before, ladies, like where I've started out thinking you chuffer you, but there's just some like spark of magic in it, and whether it's the idea, like I don't want to talk about taming of the shrew in 2024 like it's a good thing. Taming of the shrew is not a good concept, really, is it, in 2024? But there's just some part of me that's just like, yeah, go on then, I'll take it on. Like, I'd rather go on a date with her and have a fat row than go on a date with like a Gormo that says nothing and it's boring and like nothing happens. I'd rather have a fat row with her, like whether it's a row or a debate or a thing, or like obviously I'm going to not just put up with her nonsense all the time. Like, I will create my borders. I won't change her behaviour. If she wants to behave and act up, she could behave and act up. This reminds me of a story that I used to date this day. Oh, and this is a bad one in a way. This is classic Scotty Hottie, but it's a bad one. So I was this wonderful lady. Well, wonderful lady. We were together and we went to London together. She was from another country, and it was good. You know, we wanted to go and do this thing together. We were dating, and you know, we went to London. We stayed over. We had a day out in London, and she had this list of things she wanted to do in London. Right? I don't live in London. I live like fucking 2 hours away on the train or whatever. Like, we have to leave at some point. We've got a train booked. Yeah, there's a train, like we've got to get on the train and go home. That's booked. So we've got a day out in London and we need to get to the train at this time. They're the only things that are in my schedule. The rest of it, you do what you want, baby. I'm going to take you around London. She wanted to see Big Ben. We went to see Big Ben. She wanted to see well, I can't remember what order we did the things in. Like, I don't think we didn't go in the London Eye because we wouldn't have time. But you know, she had this checklist of things, and everything's around London, isn't it? So we go on the tube and we go around, and you know, we see this. We get to Hyde Park. She wants to see Hyde Park. We get to Hyde Park. We're in Hyde Park, and I explained to her that the time with what we've got now, we have to go to the train station because we haven't got enough time left to go and do these. Oh, we went to the zoo. That was it. We went to London Zoo. So we've been to the zoo. We'd seen Big Ben, and I think she wanted to go to the Houses of Parliament or somewhere else, like whatever it was on the fucking list. And I said to her, this is not going to happen. We don't have, like, she was not as bad as this lady, but she was very independent and, you know, quite happy with that. So I was like, look, because she come all the way from a foreign country to live in England on her own. She's very independent and stuff. I said, like, we were having a row. I was like, I'm not going to you. And like, I don't want to have a row in Hyde Park. So I was like, I'm not having a row in Hyde Park. Here's what's happening. Here's your ticket for the train. That's yours. Here's some money. That'll get you into the Houses of Parliament. I'm going to get these just taxis over here. I'm going in this taxi and I'm going to the train station. If you want, I'll take your bag home and you don't have to carry that around London. Or you can have your bag. It's up to you. These are the choices. Please make your own choice and please be happy with it. And I just turned away and walked off. And she was going mad. She was screaming at me and crying. In the end, she came with me, but she wouldn't let me forget it. I don't know why I've done something so wrong. We needed to get on the fucking train. What do you want me to do? You didn't have to get on the train. You could do what you want. I'm still, to this day, I've still got a chip on my shoulder about it being my fault that there was something wrong. And all I did was everything you wanted all day, and now the day is finished and we have to get on the train. I can't control time, so like, since I'm not in charge of time, I'm gonna go just. And not only that, I'm not forcing you to do what I want. You're not under my thumb. Like, you don't have to do what I want, but I'm not under your thumb neither. So I won't do what you want at this stage. This is enough doing what you want. Like, can't we live like adults? I'd love to go around the world with this lady and do that. Like, me and her. Traveling, me making a film as well. I could cameraman it up, you know, me making a video of a mini documentary about our relationship and how fucked it is would be funny as fuck to me.
Kids in Africa, Okay, well, where are they? Where are the fucking kids in Africa? Like, seriously? Like, guys, like, tell those fucking kids in Africa to fucking pull up and get it. Pick up my trash as if I want to fucking put it in the trash, like.
Wow. Also, wait, where's this? Jenna has been talking recently on Twitter in relation to this latest, right? There's this lady called Jenna. Now, you know Darkside Phil, who we talk about and watch. He's got a wife called Kat, Darkside Phil and Kat. Just quickly, just to fill you in. DSP and Kat.
I find, and this is no exaggeration. So good evening, everyone. Would you like to say hello to the audience?
Hello.
So, here's the deal. We're just here to hang out with you guys tonight. All right, and I'm sure you guys are gonna have a lot of questions. What's going on? Why is Cat on stream? You know, we're here to field questions. But before we get started, I'm just gonna say this up front. Number one, no, this is not a pregnancy announcement. I don't know who put that seed in everyone's mind. It's not correct at all. Oh, Cat's pregnant and having a baby. What the fuck are you talking about? This is not that whatsoever.
Well, that's already got her off to an interesting start. No, she's not pregnant. She's just put on a lot of... Anyway, look, the... Why would you say that?
And number two, we are not here to talk about any documentary.
Big up Steve, Fish Fingers. I've got a song about them, but I can't play it on this show.
Right? So already people are asking, what about the documentary?
So that's Phil and his wife, Kat, anyway, Kat. And her sister doesn't get on with her that well, because, don't know, anyway. But she's called Jenna, her sister, that's Jenna. And she has been tweeting that she likes wearing diapers and being made fun of for it. That she's been... I mean, I need to cover this a little bit. I think, do I? I don't know. This is definitely going to count as Nutterwatch. I like wearing diapers and being made fun of for it. So I am not in trouble here. In fact, if I want to shout out, where are you again, you chuffer? Where are you, chuffer? Let's scroll up. Let's get them on it. Where was Tupac? Shouts out Tupac. Big ups Tupac. Stick around. Dover and Dolly's mom dropped the Discord link for Tupac if you can, because I don't know where the fuck it is. If you know where it is, easy, do it. If you don't, I'll do it later. Don't see it as an order. But please, could you drop the Discord link for Tupac and anyone else? Because, like, get them in on it. We'll get this. Tupac's our new friend. Jenna Diaper Girl, right, likes wearing diapers and being made fun of for it. So, listen, she's had her problems. She's in a rehab system, I think, or something like that. Some sort of system. She's had her problems, but she's working them through. We see her as a positive force, I think, in the detractor community. We like, there's a lot of positive vibe around sort of her presence and her interesting story. I'm not too negative about her, but maybe I should be more negative about her because she wants me to make fun of her for wearing the diapers. So I don't know what the right play is here. I don't know if I should be expressly more mean about her. Should I be more mean? Should I be increasingly more mean so that she'll like it? Because I've tweeted her once and just said that her face is attractive. That's all I said, that your face is quite attractive. But I've tweeted her that. She was saying something about attractiveness in her face, and I said, well, your face is quite attractive. But she's pinned this one. In the mood to be roasted, DM me if you want to help, but only roast me about wearing diapers. So only roast her about wearing the diapers. It's me, I'm dying from lack of attention. Again, these are in reverse order. This is chronologically reversed because the latest one first. Who's going to call and roast me? I'm going to skip past her phone number. Oh my god. I'm going to skip past her phone number. I think this is okay for YouTube because it's a lady wearing a pair of big pants. So I think that's okay. I think we're still okay on that. I'm going to skim past... Wait, I know what's coming up, so I'm going to skim past that video of her wetting her pants. I can't help it. If you're going to post on Twitter a video of you wet your pants, I'm going to look at it, aren't I? So, in chronological order now, not reverse chronological order, because this needs to be chronological order. I just want to be walking down the street one day and someone comes up to me and says, hey, Diaper Girl, it would be an honour. Currently trying not to shit my pants because I ate 3 laxatives. This is not a joke, folks. This is not a joke, folks. My kinks may be weird, so I'm not kink shaming. I'm not shaming, although part of the kink is that she's requested that I shame her. So I still don't know where I stand. I haven't entered into the arena yet. You know, I'm just covering it from an outside I'm just covering it. Just sort of covering it. But I don't know if I wanted to enter into the arena. Like, I don't mind, like, everyone having their own kinks. Like, I've dated people, we're talking about dating now, aren't we? It's come up again. But I've dated people with different sort of, you know, sexual proclivities, and I've entertained them a little bit. I've just been like, okay, if that's what you're into, I'll entertain it a little bit. Like, it's not necessarily what I'm into, but I'll have a look, I'll have a go. You know, we all know the story about when I had that date with that girl who said she wanted to be, like, submissive in the bedroom. And I said, oh, this is a good idea. Oh, submissive. Naughty, are you? You've been a naughty girl. Right, get in the corner. I want you in the corner, kneel down, and I put a book, hands on it, put a book on her head. Said, you stay there looking in the corner with the book on your head, you naughty. And then I went downstairs and watched Match of the Day. Yeah, that was a good one. So, don't you move from up there, you naughty. So, you know, so I'm not, but I don't really know how to handle this. Like, I quite like, you know, we had that lady just before saying it's nice to be nice to people. Maybe I should be nice to, but if you're nice to her and you buy her flowers and a card, doesn't it need to say in the card, oh, you stupid chuffer with your shitty pants? Or something. Like, I'm not really sure how the best, like, I think I'd feel quite uncomfortable about sort of constantly publicly berating and embarrassing my girlfriend. But it'd be different. So I'm not doing this, I'm not attacking her, but at the same time I feel like I'm doing the wrong thing by not attacking her because she wanted the... Anyway, look, her kinks may be weird, but she loves doing shit that makes her adrenaline pump and makes her horniest for a really long time. I'm gonna pee my pants. Fuck, it felt good to pee my pants just now. My bed is all wet though. And then there is a video, but I think that's too raw for... We might look at it on Twitch. I think it's too raw for what am I doing? What am I doing? What's happened to my show? What's happened to my show?
Watch again. Here we go. It's another watch again. Here we go. It's time for all your friends and nutters. I know you love the nutters. It's Friday time again. Nutter watching nutters. Shut up and watch the show. Oh, it started with a vegan nutter.
I want to get her doing like a real go.
I'm not dating any of you losers.
Oh, there we go.
I'm 5'7", so taller than all of you.
5'7"? She said that's 5'7". I think she likes starting the argument and likes having the row. So to a certain extent, I entertain it, yeah, for the fun. But if it gets serious and weird, like that girl who wanted to go to the fucking... Like, we wouldn't have got on the train. I'd have been stranded in London. So in that case, I'll just turn my back and I'm quite happy to walk away. But, like, she's very sort of happy about when she says the provocative thing, isn't she?
5'7".
Fair enough, PCTV. I suppose everyone's got their own different kinks, but the weird thing about the sex kinks with that is, like, enshrined in our law in the UK, right? Enshrined in our law in the UK, strangely enough, is the idea that if it's not normal and it's, like, not generally considered sexual, then whilst you individually, not you, obviously, but, like, whilst people individually might consider it a sex kink, it's not a sex thing if normally, generally, it's not considered a sex thing. So, like... it's a weird, like, thing of it, but, like, I believe in not kink shaming in general. Like, if people have their own ideas about what gets them off, as long as it's not hurting anyone else, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know where I was really going with that. But, like, to her, it's apparently her sort of favourite saucy thing, so, yeah, anyway. She make 'em eggy, look.
Did anybody guess 5'7"? Oh, and if I have any women in here, listen, a little life hack. If I have any women in here, if a guy tells you his height, subtract 6 inches. This always checks out. The math, it always.
I literally tell people my exact height. I'll measure it for you if you want. Like, why would I lie? I'll turn up and I'll be shorter.
Always checks out. Whenever a guy tells you his height, you need to subtract 6 inches. So if he says he's 6 feet tall,
you need to add on 6 inches. Way.
He's 5'6". If he says he's 5'10", he's 5'4". All right. If he says he's 5'11", he's He's 5'5". You
She had a bit of time working that one out.
guys get the fucking point. You always need to subtract 6 inches. I'm telling you guys. Anytime a guy says his height, minus 6 inches, that's
Yeah, you're minus 6 inches off something. Hey!
they always say to me. Do you guys want to know what they say to me when they're exposed for being a liar? They either say, oh, well, when I took my, well, you know, the doctor said I'm 6 feet, or I took my height at the doctor's office, or, oh, well, on like my license, it says I'm 6 foot. They always say one of the two.
Who are these men that she's talking to? Right, let's watch Darkside Phil cry. Let's get off on a man crying. This is funny.
I finally kind of belonged somewhere, you know? Like, we all liked Street Fighter, and we were all competing against each other and all that. I never thought that, like, playing Street Fighter was going to change my life. It changed my life. It really did. I started traveling. I started being more outgoing, meeting people, having good relationships, even though we've already gone around about the trolling topic of how bad that was when I was in competitive Street Fighter as well. That's the other video. That's the Down the Rabbit Hole video about me. If you want to look at that react, I explain that in full. But that was, you know, I really look back at that time so positively. I do. Scott was such a unique dude. T was such a unique guy. And they're not with us anymore. And that's not fair.
We basically assume that he's trying to make himself cry in this situation. T Carter is not with us anymore, because T Carter could have got a lift home with Phil, but Phil said, fuck it, I'm not giving you a lift. You walk, you fucker. I can't be arsed with it. So T Carter walked and got shot in such a bad area. Phil was so scared to hang around waiting for him, he just fucked off, left him stranded, and T Carter got shot, effectively making Phil the murderer.
There were positive influences on this planet. And they're not with us anymore.
And then we did anymore. I do some crying on the stream. Everyone does a cry sometimes. Listen, there's nothing wrong with crying. There's nothing wrong with being a man and having feelings. But concocting them like this...
That's life, man. The best of us get taken way too early. And the rest of us are just stuck here, right?
The rest of us are stuck here. What? Still alive? Enjoying life? I thought you said that Street Fighter was fun. In fact, T was stuck there when you didn't give him a lift, you fuckhead.
But previous to me making this video about Scott, which I didn't make a video about Scott, let me clarify that. That's a segment of a podcast that I did. One segment, okay? Was the podcast monetized? Of course it was. Everything that I put out was monetized at that time. It's how I made my living. And I did the same thing with T, by the way. And I don't have that for you. I don't want to play that for you. That's already been that's not the subject matter of this video that we're reacting to today.
So he was just explaining that his emotional reactions were monetized, of course. And I find this a bit of a strange one, because yeah, they were monetized, his emotional reactions to these things that he gets emotional about sometimes. Sometimes. Does he get emotional about? Anyway, he does get emotional sometimes, quite a lot of the time, but this sort of emotional. Anyway, look, they were monetized because everything was monetized, yeah, but you didn't have to record them and upload them as a, like, put it up there as a video, like a sort of, I hope this one gets 1,000 views. Like, you know, you didn't have to do that, did you?
Okay. But basically I did a T tribute, and in the T tribute, this is something when people always wanted me to talk about on my podcast about my past and stories about my past. And in the past, someone, because I was known on YouTube, obviously, I was a known YouTuber, and people knew from over the years me talking about my old formative days of Street Fighter.
Oh wait, hang on, we're talking about you again? I thought you were upset about these people that you'd lost over the course of these fallen soldiers, so back to you, and the tears have dried up.
That I was friends with this kid, T. Carter, before
Oh, T. Carter, okay.
Passed. Someone came to me one day not a tournament, excuse me, I think it was a convention, it could have been a tournament, and they handed me a packet of photos. The packet of photos was his personal packet. He said, Phil, I want you to have this. I said, what is this? He goes, you know, these are pictures of T. And actually, Scott's in a couple of them, too.
Me?
And he says, these are pictures that I want you to have because you are known on YouTube. And he says, T, T was such a beautiful guy. I'm not talking about his looks. His personality. He was outgoing.
Listen, he's not gay. All right, listen, he's not gay. Bit of a weird time to bring that up.
He was vibrant. He was full of energy. He was the nicest guy. He had a passion for Street Fighter. He was the best player in Connecticut. The entire time he was alive, he was the best player in Connecticut.
While he was alive, he was the best player in Connecticut. Now he's dead. You're the best player in Connecticut again. But while he was alive, I suppose we'll let him have that. We'll let him have that. But it's all right because he's dead.
Okay? He said, I'd like you to have these pictures because I know you were a friend with T. And you have the ability on YouTube. You have the reach, the clout. You can share his story with people on the internet. So, not only a lot of people know about T, because he didn't get to live that long.
Because you left him stranded and didn't give him a fucking lift.
And you can be the person to tell his story.
Because you were the person that effectively murdered him.
So I did.
What, murdered him?
I made a video on a podcast just like that. And I had scanned the pictures into my computer. Okay? And I shared it with the world. The podcast doesn't get a lot of views. Okay? The podcast maybe got 10,000, maybe 20,000 views tops. Okay? I thought I did a good job doing a tribute to T.
Fair enough. And the sort of $200 to $400 you might have collected from those views, you obviously gave to some sort of charity. The Hogan Foundation, was it? Was it the Scopely Hogan Foundation? Did you just pour that money into a fucking mobile game? Did you? In his honour?
All right. And I did as best I could. Now I'm going to tell you guys something that nobody knows.
Nobody knows. It's been tough. I mean, listen, again, I'm not taking the piss out of Phil for crying and for showing emotions, because that's a good thing. But I'm taking the piss because at an important moment, this actually is cut from his reaction to the documentary about him. And the reason that he's quite upset is because they're accusing him of monetizing their friendship and monetizing the things they did together at all times, even monetizing the death of their friend. And his response to this is, yeah, I fucking did. And you don't often see Phil show emotion. And this is supposed to be like a sort of tearful breakdown. Like, it's a very narcissistic approach to showing the emotion. Phil is a dyed-in-the-wool narcissist. And so it seems very contrived. There's a bit of a backstory as well, insofar as he did some strange behaviour before this. He held a can. It was like, I'm hot. He held this can against his face, like cooled his skin. And people are thinking he did it to inspire and help to invoke the tears. Yeah, there's a bit of backstory there.
I was haunted by T's death for a very long time.
If you are feeling unhappy, then talk to somebody. That's cool. Phil's got no one to talk to because nobody likes it. But if you're feeling unhappy, then definitely talk to someone. 118-123-43 is the free phone number. 118-123 is the free phone number for the Samaritans in the UK. If it's America, it's 988 for Lifeline. I don't think Phil's really feeling these emotions thoroughly, though. So
I actually feel like it was one of the reasons why I originally had depression. Because it happened to me at a time in my life when, my God, I hadn't dealt with death or loss. And although everyone in Connecticut was hurting at the time when he died, I blamed myself for it.
Well, you were to blame. You could have literally not... If you'd have driven him, he wouldn't be dead.
That day, he was walking home from playing Street Fighter at this kid's house, and a gang member decided to shoot him for no reason. I guess, there's all kinds of guesses, and I guess the rumor that hit the streets was that this gang member, this was their initiation. Oh, prove that you're hard enough to be part of our gang by just murdering someone in the fucking street walking home. He got shot. Okay? And I blame myself, because I said if I had hung out with T that day and I had driven him to his friend's house, I could have driven him home. Before I moved out of Connecticut, I drove to his grave and couldn't get out of the car.
Wow. If you had driven into his friend's house and driven him home, didn't he ask... I don't know if Phil's completely giving us the full story there, because what I've heard through the detractor grapevine, isn't it that he did ask you for a lift and you refused?
I didn't say goodbye before I left because I couldn't do it because I was too fucking weak. because I was so haunted at losing this guy. And this was many years later. He died in the late 90s. This was 2014, and I couldn't do it.
It's almost like you blame yourself.
Okay? You say I monetized someone's death.
Yes, you've monetized their death, and you're doing it again in this particular segment of this video.
I don't know how worse you could be of a person to say something like that. All right? Okay? But T had Guile, Dalsim, Blanca, and Zangief, but he had a duplicate of Blanca and Zangief. You see? Between the two of us, there was no way that we were going to get a whole set.
Anyway.
You know, doing stupid videos that actually meant something to people. And that means the world to me. That there's people out there that, you know, for a decade, that they've been watching me and they've been following me. And
it's been tough. So that's the story of T. Carter. It's a bit of old Phil. You got to be upset by it when he told it, but bit of a mood change there. Don't know why I put that in today. I just was like, well, watch Phil crying. As a sort of contrast to that lady being mean.
Things. The doctor said I was 6 feet, or my license, and it's so comical to me. But they always lie about their height, and it's so pathetic.
Moon Rider is a douche from long ago. Then it picked back up with the Angry Alan saga now. Nutterwatch is every Friday, and the internet is full of them, so we will never run out. Here we go, it's Nutterwatch again. Here we go, it's time for all your friends and nutters. I know you love the nutters.
So you want to talk Alan, don't you, Chuffer? So what have we got to talk about with Alan? What have we got to talk about with Alan? Not much, really, is it? I can show you that on Caseboard, Rusick versus Vinicum. We've got activity on the 21st of June. That came the day after our last show, so I didn't report on it then, but a week ago, effectively. And again, it just says last activity. Doesn't say anything. So inference is that there was activity before it on, I think it was the 13th. So that would have been like Alan's lodged his case. They would have lodged their, counter to it. Maybe this is like another step before a step. There's no timeline events, nothing like that. Alan himself is silent, radio silent, is TikTok-y. Alan the Armchair Detective TikTok-y is dead. Like he hasn't done anything for ages. His Rumble has turned into... this is basically like the same story as last week now, isn't it? His Rumble has turned into, again, totally dead. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This baby reindeer stuff isn't really about baby reindeer. It's about him and Lizzie. So Lizzie and the Claire Morgan, the fake lawyering lawyer, has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 or 8 videos now on his show a month ago, and now that's dead. So he's just gone completely radio silent. And I guess part of us, thinks, oh, is he? Winning some sort of little victory here because he's not on the internet, therefore we're not having a pop at him. I think, as I said before, he's got the women behind the scenes, the spanners, and there's about 3 or 4 of them that actually give him money, and he's got in on them, and he's doing the Zoom calls and the emails and the private conversations, and they're still giving him money. That's my guess. And so he thinks that he doesn't need to do this because his show is useless. The whole point of all this is to get people to give him money, isn't it? He doesn't give a fuck about anything other than grifting these women on the internet. I think he's realised that he's not going to entertain or gather any more, he's not going to snowball any more ladies. So the ones he's got, he's going to get his hooks right into and bleed dry. So I think that's probably what's going on. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of them is even at the point of nearly signing over the house to him or something. And I don't know why he's not making any content at all, because I actually believe him to be a proper narcissist who requires the ego boost from this. But on the other hand, there isn't much of an ego boost to everybody on the internet saying you're a prick, is there? So it's a very strange thing, isn't it? He's got his court case coming up. Please check Discord. I certainly will. He's got his court case coming up. Oh, he does posts on Patreon, doesn't he? Yeah, good shout, good shout. Let's have a look on his Patreon. Good shout. I love the way when I type in Patreon, it brings up Alan's Patreon. I used to have a Patreon, it used to bring up mine, but forget that. I need to do something about either upgrading it or, updating it or just binning it off. But, okay, recent post pinned, that was June the 9th. AD, I'm still alive. I have to upgrade to unlock, though. But thankfully, I can find it. Thankfully, I can find it. Let's say that. And it says, so you get your Alan section now, BCTV. You get what you want, look. Ask and ye shall receive. Thank you, Steve, for the 99p super chat. Thank you. Ask and you shall receive. You get what you ask for here. You get it. I'm getting Conman. AD, I'm still alive. Patreons, or should I read it in his voice? I am the armchair detective. AD, I'm still alive. Trust me, never get involved with lawsuits. That's supposed to be one word, so this could be Alan writing this. Space, comma, space. That's another feature. But it's also a feature of other people's writing as well, so... trust me, never get involved with lawsuits. Only winners are lawyers, space, comma, space. If you don't have 100k to throw away, space, comma, space, comma, space. One day someone will wake up, space, comma, space, and find a no-win situation. That's Alan speaking in his lex. Like, does he believe the word is situation? In a situation. What are you on? What are you on? What are you on? Come on, Buttons.
I dream about food every night.
What are you on?
Good luck with your channel, son.
What are you on? What are you on?
Torture the battery boy.
What are you on?
Torture the battery boy.
What are you? Shut up, Scott.
I've got a big armchair.
Right. So AD, I'm still alive. Trust me, never get involved. I'll read it his way, and then I'll read it again so that I can understand it. No win situation for anyone, no space, comma, and I mean anyone at all. Thank you for sticking with me. I believe in the UK courts, not punctuated correctly again, capital I, U, dot, K, dot, illusion, what am I trying to say? When you take out letters and squash the word together, elisions. They're elisions, so they require a full stop. Are they elisions or are they... They might not be. They might be... what's the word when you put just the capital letters of the things you're talking about? Anyway, it's a grammatical feature. You need to punctuate it properly. And if that... Well, Alan doesn't. And if that's true, it will all come out in the wash. It is the only way to clean dirty linen. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yours always, Alan. AD. His name's not AD. AD is the word that people use on the internet for adverts. And what it says is, patrons, trust me, never get involved with lawsuits. The only winners are lawyers. If you don't have 100 grand to throw away, one day someone will wake up and find a no-win situation for anyone, and I mean no one at all. That doesn't even make sense. Don't get involved with lawsuits. The only people who will win are the lawyers. And also, if you win, your lawyers will win, but also you will win. So then that's good, isn't it? But not if you're going to lose. If you don't have 100 grand to throw away, which you don't, Alan, not even to spend on anything you really need, one day someone will wake up and find a no-win situation for anyone, and I mean no one at all. What does that... Thank you for sticking with me. No one is sticking with you, Alan. Like, he's talking to his patrons, I suppose, and what it is, on his Patreon, he's got, basically, look, you can see there's 6 likes, 9 likes, 7 likes, 13 likes on that one. So my guess is that there's about... like 15 people maximum, 5 likes on that one. I mean, the 13 likes is a very high number, but you know, you're not talking a lot of people here, yeah. Like, let's say 15. You could say 20 people maximum, of which a lot of them will be on $1, hopefully, and there'll be a lot of people there. Like, my guess is there'll be a bunch of people that are over that number that have forgotten they've signed up for this and have forgot to turn it off, maybe. But other than that, you've got nobody there. There's nobody still with you. No one gives a fuck. You've got your tiny core group of essentially spanners. It's just you and the people that you made mods just talking to each other now. Like, and that's what it's been forever, and it always will be, because you faked it up with loads of fake views. So, like, well done. You just look stupid. So no one's staying with him. No one cares. Like, what's he talking about? But I would say, like I said, I think there are people behind the scenes still giving him money. You know, who is this for? I don't know. Does it serve to keep his patrons? Like, is he thinking people who are on my Patreon, I need to keep them updated? Like, there's no update. It just says nothing. All it says is, I can't be arsed. So there you go. I'm having a bad time with my lawyers and lawsuits. That's all just bollocks. He don't give a fuck. He's not thinking about that. He's just written something to keep it dramatic on his patrons so they keep giving him money. And reality is, he's just sitting in the garden, like, drinking and looking at kids. Probably, my worry with Alan, my big worry, is that he's confessed. Alan has confessed. We've heard him say it. Yeah, Alan has confessed. And I've, done it on my channel. He's confessed, yeah? He's confessed to taking photographs of ladies. Where is it? I posted it recently. There we go. Not specifically ladies, just people. He's confessed to taking candid pictures of people in public without their knowledge, and you can't. That's not a crime. Like, you can't get done for that. But if you are getting photographs of strangers, people, whomever, like, what are they for? And my worry is that he might take, because of all the smule stuff, he could have recorded that smule stuff and then sold it on to a pedo or something. So my worry is that he collects up, like, candid street photography or playground photography, and then he sells it on the internet. And that might be another source of income for him that he might rely on more rather than whatever he's been doing on the internet, because there's evidence of this. Look, there's the evidence, there's the photograph that proves. I don't know who that lady is. I don't know if he does. She doesn't seem to know she's having a photograph taken, does she? Yeah? And he has absolutely, and when I say absolutely, I mean 1,000,000%. Probably won't be able to get it that quick now because I posted it a little while ago. We've done it in our content before. If I scroll down, I have to find it on here. But he's absolutely 1,000,000% gone out on the internet and said that he says, I've done it before. I've taken, and I'm not going to say what he said like that because they might clip me and make me look bad. But he says he's taken photographs of people on the internet. Sorry, he's taken photographs of people in public without their knowledge. It's a absolute confirmed thing that he says and did on his internet show. So am I wasting time by trying to find it here? Because I posted it ages ago. It will have time on it because it will be... I'm a bit concerned with these blank spaces. I don't know what happens there. Is that a glitch in Twitter, or has someone forcibly removed some of my content without telling me in some way? I don't know. Or did I delete it? No, I probably didn't delete anything. That's when we're doing the Salah Badman. That's Chicky Chang. I can't remember in chronological order of when I can't remember when this happened either. So, but it's in our YouTube shows, and maybe it's this one. Maybe it's this one. Oh, no, that's just a funny noise. That's a funny noise. That's a funny noise. Do you remember this?
Germany. Germany.
Happened either side.
Germany.
Do you remember that? There's a funny noise in the background. What is that sound? And this is it louder 3 times over for analysis. If you know what this sound is and you can help us, we think it might be someone tied up in the background. What was that sound? Answers on a postcard. That's something, isn't it? That was something. It was something. I was there and I heard it, so I recorded it and then put it on the internet so that we could look at it later, like we just did. So I'm glad we did that. I'm going to keep having a little scroll. I'm going to find what I find. And if I don't find, then... Oh, look. We've come to the end of what's up to date. So that's a bit of a shame. And there are bits missing. I just wonder about Twitter. Like, what is missing in that space? Are they removing things that I put up there? Or are they... Because if they remove my content, shouldn't they tell me about it and notify me? And then why would they remove it if they're not telling me and notifying me? It's not copyright, and all that. Or is it? Or is something... Like, I wonder if Alan or someone else has gone round. I might just be tripping. It might just be a glitch in the way it presents it, But I didn't manage to find big up Eamonn Holmes there. And that's because time has moved on. Or Alan saying that... But you can trust... you can trust me. You can go look at my old episodes on this channel and find the bit where we clipped him saying it and we played it on the channel. So that's fine as well. Interesting stuff though, huh? Interesting stuff. Where did it go? Where did it go? Big up Eamonn Holmes. I could actually find it another way. So give me a second. We'll go back to this woman, and then I'll find it and I'll play it, because I want to be right, you know. Coming up, we've got DODS death diving. We're going to finish on some fun. We've watched a bit of Phil crying. That was a bit of a funny mood change, actually. I don't know if I introduced that well. I want to look at wood that might be rocks. We'll listen to this woman a little bit more. Big ups Red Fan with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very much for that.
You guys know, don't lie about your height. You guys look pathetic. You guys look so pathetic when you guys lie about your height. Like, it's just sad. It's sad, but like, literally, the only guys that I've met that don't lie about their height or haven't lied are the guys that are like actually tall. So it's so strange because it's like, so like my ex-boyfriend, so he was actually tall. He was like 6'3", but he said 6 foot, and like, it's so strange. But yeah, basically, if a guy tells you his height and he's 6 feet, is he 6 foot, he's either gonna be 6 foot or taller.
All right, you can shut up again. Well, check this out. Check this out.
Looked at my phone, but really I'm taking a in the shop. He could have done when he was at a distance from. I've done it many times. Looked at my phone, but really I'm taking a picture of someone, right? He could have done that easily. He didn't. He got in his car and then filmed them. He sort of pretended. He said like, "Oh, I thought I'd seen her before somewhere."
So he's talking about this person who took a photo. He said he could have done it like I done it. Took a photo of them. He's telling you how he takes photographs of strangers in public without their consent. And okay, you don't have to have consent to take strangers a photo. You know, it's not actually a crime, but he's stepping close to voyeurism. And I think there are people on the internet that would, like, for example, what if you were taking pictures of children's feet? That seems innocuous, doesn't it? But I'm sure there's someone on the internet that you could sell them to. So I worry about Alan's habit or hobby of taking photographs. I mean, I don't know if he's established it as a habit or hobby, but we've seen photographs that he's taken, and here's him telling you that he does it.
I sort of recognised her in the shop. He could have done when he was at a distance from. I've done it many times. Looked at my phone, but really I'm taking a picture of someone, right? He could have done that easily. He didn't. He got in his car and then filmed them.
It's Friday time again. Nutterwatch and Nutters.
In fact, I'm glad I was muted because I didn't really. All I said was. So coming up, we've got Ruth and Eamonn.
Here we go.
And we've got death diving as well. Come on. Yeah. Blow that giant trumpet. Double saxophone. Everybody's. Come on. Now that should only be played on Sundays, really, because we do marching bands on Sundays. So don't get all hyped up with fucking messing. If anything, you'd be messing. We're going to watch Sexy Death Diving. That's coming up, and we've got Ruth and Eamon's divorce. We're keeping up with that, and I hyped that at the start of the show, and I forgot about it already. So I hope you didn't forget about it, because that's part of the show. We did a little talk about Alan. Then you like it, you have it, you got it, you want it. If he does stuff on the internet, I'll cover it, obviously, and I hope he does more. And the offer is absolutely open. Absolutely open. He can't come on YouTube because he's banned, but we could do on Rumble, or we could do on Twitter. And Alan, if he's ever, if his agent is listening, there's a load of money to be made. We could cover the football. Would you rather, this is a question for you in chat, would you rather watch Roy Keane and Gary Lineker or whomever tell you about what happened in the football after the game, or would you rather watch Scott and Alan tell you about the football, what happened after the game, and discuss it? Would you rather watch Scott and Alan talk about the football? You'd rather watch me and Alan talk about it, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? You would. You would. So even just doing that, and we could have rules, not like contracts in place. If Scott oversteps the mark in this way or mentions this, then Alan gets extra money or something. Like, we could have a system. We could have a swear jar, couldn't we, or something, for when Scott calls Alan a pedo. But you know what I mean? Like it would be really, really fun. You love a bit of diving. You wait till you see the death diving. You haven't seen nothing yet. Should I hype it up? Should I hype it up a little bit? The death diving. I've hyped it up already. Let's hype this up. Watch Ruth and Eamonn, and then we'll watch some death diving. Was there anything else on the list you didn't get tonight? We'll switch on Twitch and we'll do a bit of react to Isla Tricure maybe later. I do want to react to Isla Tricure tonight, so I might want to get onto Twitch a bit earlier than... Well, it's already 9 o'clock now, isn't it? So, and Luke's weird stuff, that needs Twitch reacting and uploading, really. But yeah, let me hype up death diving. So this is from Norway originally, and this is the 28 finals. Okay, 2018 finals. So if you've not witnessed this before, obviously they're on the high diving board. The sort of thing that happens. High diving board, diving. So... You didn't expect that though, did you? You expected something a bit more like this. That's diving, isn't it? Oh, looks like you messed up the landing. No. He didn't mess up the landing. This is death diving, and that is the landing. And this is a better example of what they're into. You've all done that on your holiday. I said this before in my previous react to last year's World Championships. You've all done that on your holiday. Everyone does that off the diving board. You jump off into the pool. That's jumping into the pool. Oosh! He just done the leg out. What did he do? Did you... Look! What's that? What? And in with a twist. Here's Raven. His hat come off. Bloody hell. Gone for a more traditional dive. This is the evolution of death diving. They started out with more traditional diving, but they've moved on from that now. Although...
Ja, det skal Mathias få gjøre sammen med Ramkamp. Nestemann, det Philip Julius Devole. Julius Devole.
How do you enter a competition legit and get up on the thing and be like, right, for my turn, I've been planning this. This is like 2018 World Championships. I've been planning this, and you go out and you do that, and they all cheer it as well. This is the other thing. They all think it's good. He's got a sponsor. I mean, what?
Julius, det var det.
Death diving. It's one of my favourites. I don't follow it every week, but the World Championships is coming up. We missed the 2023 World Championships, I think, so we're going to see some sexy death diving. The ladies do it as well. There's lady death divers. And all denominations and genders, I suppose. The thing I talked about before that, though, is this, and I do want to cover this. Check this out. Eamonn Holmes' beard, that's the name of today's episode. Now, the backstory, I don't want to fill you in case you didn't know. Eamonn Holmes, big Manchester media mafia mogul, isn't he? And Manchester media Mason's mafia. Look, he's sitting in a throne there. The connection with Luke and how Eamonn Holmes is big friends with Charlie Lawson or Jim from Coronation Street, and how Jim from Coronation Street is now big friends with Luke, and how Luke got him on to do an interview, and they both addressed their latent homosexuality, which they're not homosexuals, they just have feelings about going really high up, which you have to watch that episode on this channel. It's insanity. That's all backstory. I think it's strange that Eamonn Holmes married, Eamonn Holmes married Jim from Coronation Street because Jim from Coronation Street got Eamonn Holmes to be the registrar or the official at his wedding to a lady. So, but in the papers it said he married Jim from Coronation Street, which was a funny headline. Eamonn married Ruth, and that was really good for their television careers because they went on This Morning TV show and they followed on from Richard and Judy, who were a real life couple and made really good on-screen chemistry, and everyone liked the fact they were a couple and presenting a TV show. So This Morning on ITV decided that Eamonn wasn't quite cutting the mustard, but then when he got married to Ruth, then it was fine, he could be the presenter, and that was going well until he stopped being the presenter of This Morning because he got binned off for talking some rubbish about 5G, and then after that his marriage fell apart because there was no need for them to be on the telly together anymore. She's carried on being on the telly on the mainstream ITV, but he's not, so they aren't married. I think their marriage fell apart for different reasons, actually. I don't know, but this is now coming out, or is it? So I'll talk about it. Let's watch it.
Ruth Langsford and Eamonn Holmes, who entertained millions
That's them there working on the telly. Look, who's filming this?
of viewers through ITV's This Morning between
He's telling her off. Ruth, he's telling her off. Look, he's having a pop at her. Alright, look at his blonde hair. Why is his hair all blonde? What's this video? Where have they got this from? Why is his hair blonde? Is he having a pop at her?
in 2006 and 2020
Look at him leaning over her. Oh, that Eamonn Holmes.
are now in the process of getting a divorce after 14 years of marriage. While many rumors have been circulating on the internet about the possible cause of their divorce, one of Ruth Langsford's friends has now revealed the real reason behind.
Oh, look, this Colleen Nolan's getting it. Him and Colleen Nolan on. We've already had a little watch of them, haven't we? Him and Colleen Nolan.
In their divorce. Stay with us.
She's touching him!
As we share all the details. Ruth Langsford and Eamonn Holmes, both 64, were in a relationship for about 13 years.
Were they, though?
Before getting...
Was it a working relationship? Because they worked a lot together. Eamonn said, and we've watched his interview on this channel, you know, we're keeping up with it. Eamonn said that they lived together, but they had separate space. And the only time he interacted with her was at work. Didn't he?
Getting married to each other in 2010. The two hosted ITV's This Morning for about 14 years together.
There's my thumbnail.
Which helped them to solidify their marriage. But their sudden firing from the show seems to have taken a toll on
Is that a big bag of drugs?
their marriage, as they recently announced their split after 27 years of being together. While many rumors have been circling around ever since they made an announcement,
Sounds like chicken pickle, this.
the real reason has now come to light. Recently, one of the Ruth's friends
One of the Ruth's friends.
that
Is
Ruth's
it Colleen Nolan? Because they keep putting her in it. And Colleen Nolan, oh, I get a funny vibe about her. She's very happy to jump on the Eamonn train, I tell you.
marriage started going downhill when she discovered messages from another woman on Eamonn's laptop.
On his laptop? Messages from another woman on his laptop? Oh, I should shout this out. to shout this out, the Masonic aspect. I wonder if in 2024 there aren't women in charge of the Masons now. Like, if you're going to have equality and you're going to have bits and pieces going on, like, don't women want... Like, they've got their own Masons. There's a female Masons club. But, like, girls who run the world. Girls who run the world. Like, at the very top of the tree, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a ladies. Super ladies. Like, there's nothing wrong with ladies being, like, powerful and in charge. They have been, haven't they? We've had Queen Elizabeth and all sorts. Masons doesn't have to just be the men. Maybe they're all in the Masons. Masonettes. Come on, Masonettes. That's pretty good.
We came to take one.
Masonettes. Come on, I said Masonettes. That's a pretty good joke.
Follow ladies. I want ladies. Super ladies. Nurture.
Why am I not getting more response in chat from the fact that I said Masonettes? Masonettes. Masonettes. Why am I not getting more response in chat for that? That's a class A pun. That's a grade A pun. That signed, sealed, delivered, stamped with the guaranteed stamp of authority. Amazon are coming at, between 12 and 4. Guaranteed delivery. That is Masonettes. And I just invented it out of my head.
We came to take one.
I don't think I'm getting enough respect around here. Hang on. I don't think I'm getting... You're right. I don't think... You're right. What, you agree with me? You're supposed to be in contradiction with me. No, but you're right. They're not giving me enough response and respect for the joke, are they? Masonettes. Masonettes. It's like little houses. You don't have to explain it to me. I know. Yeah. Masonettes, I said. I know you did. Masonettes. Like, because they're lady masons. You don't have to explain it to me. These days, anyway, you wouldn't have to, like, actors and actors, you don't have to say actresses. So you wouldn't have to say masonettes, you could just say masons and masons. Maybe that's why there's not such a big response. Don't second guess yourself. I know you're the good one, but you're supposed to be contradicting me. You're not supposed to... Having a bit of a love-in today, aren't we? Oh, you again, you! Oh, he started it. You started it. Shut up. Masonettes, though. Masonettes. There you are. Look, there they are in chat there. There they are. There they are. Look, hey, Masonettes. We'll just edit that bit out. We'll edit the bit out where you didn't respond to the joke, and I'll edit it to make it look like you just really enjoyed the joke, probably. That's what we'll do. Masonettes, isn't it? Do you want to try again? Do you want to try again? Should I take that back to the... A masonette is French for a small house. Yeah. Well, it's just funny because I don't know why the house thing doesn't matter, the relevance to it. It's funny because I said the women might be masons as well, because we don't always think of them as being masons, because masons is generally a boys' club. But then I said masonettes because, like, like chufferette, like it's like a feminized version of a word, isn't it? To put et on the end. Like, here's Pat Sharp and the Sharpettes. Or whatever, like... Anyway, look, the Salopettes. Here's Fat Sal and the Salopettes. So look, the, but the ets bit sounds like another word, which is houses, but it's a word already, so masonettes is... So it's funny. Oh, forget it. Chuffragettes, suffragettes, that's what we've got. We've got suffragettes. Pipettes. Here's Pippa and the Pipettes. That's actually a good one, Kaz. I'm being shown up by my own chat now. I've got better puns than me. Better patter than me. My own chat. The clarinets. Here's Claire and the clarinets. That's brilliant. Same. That's brilliant, that is.
Ruth even discovered that they had been in touch with each other for quite some time.
So you're getting this? Eamonn's been in touch with a woman. He's doing messages on his laptop.
This made Ruth devastated and furious at her
Devastated and furious.
husband and forced her to make a decision to divorce.
Does that mean that he's not going to get the good end of the divorce? I bet they did a prenup, didn't they? Because they're on the tellies. I bet Eamonn made her sign it all away before she got started. But do you think... Chicago! Sorry. My angel just put Chicago in the chat, and that's just enough for me. So, let's go, Chicago.
Big up Evan Holmes from Manchester to
Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
Anywhere I go.
From Manchester to Chicago.
Whoa, whoa. Do you know what's funny is Luke's actually got quite a good singing voice, right? And it's this weird irony that sometimes, like, quite, you know, like do you remember Susan Boyle? You know Susan Boyle? Like, sometimes the most unlikely of people might have a nice singing voice. It doesn't make them a nice person or like anything like that, but they might have a nice, it doesn't make them smart or, you know, but sometimes they might have a nice singing voice, and Luke is one of those people. Like, he's actually got quite a nice singing voice, but it's a bit of an irony, and I would love him to sing songs that I wrote. I would love it. We could collaborate on that. I'll write the songs, he can sing them. I'll remain producer, director, owner of the copyright, and he can sing them.
I'm a glass super damn the super chuffer. I'll get a pint of kiss on the way before I touch down in the town. I found a little Irish bar up the road and bound. Got a room in a guest house. The eclipse was slightly dim like me. Keep it, we don't want it. Give us a rain cloud.
Roger Herbert, film critic.
No one talks to me anyway. Big up Evan Holmes from Manchester to Chicago.
Everywhere I go, everywhere I go,
from Manchester
to Chicago, well, she can go.
I'm a grass super damn the
super chuffer. I'm a grass damn the man, the super chuffer.
Michigan. See what's going on there?
See what's going on there?
Oh, there's the bean.
There's a bean.
There's Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean.
Why can't I get on there?
I can't get on it. Oh no.
Can't get on it?
No.
The bean.
The bean. Flick your bean.
Seems to be closed.
It's closed. The big bean. The big bean. The beano.
Zoom in though.
Dennis the Menace and the beano.
Bean. Behind a fence.
Where have you been? How's been?
That's pretty sick.
You've been to Chicago.
Wonder if they do.
What have you been doing?
Do gigs and that. Yeah. What a great place for a gig.
Can I have more bean puns in chat, please? Anyone got any bean puns?
Yeah, it's rigged up for it. Got speakers up there.
Speakers up there, rigged. It's rigged, mate. Rigged for sound, wired for sound.
What an absolutely amazing place to watch.
What an amazing place.
Over there.
Another stage. It's just a stage I've been going through.
So they do a lot of outdoor gigs.
Have I got my mum's dressing gown on? No. I'm actually very fucking cool. Look at me in my oversized. You don't know. You don't know. Look at me in my oversized. Look. Oversized. Hoodie. Floral. It's floral though. It's watercolour flowers. Look at me. Now, if you don't know, you better get to know. Because Kurt Cobain. If you know, you know. Kurt Cobain used to dress in clothes. And some people would say, oh, look at you wearing your silly cardigan. Or look at you with your floral t-shirt and your... Or look at you there. Look at him here. Look at him there. Well, you can all shut up because I'm as cool as Kurt Cobain. I'm cool like Kurt Cobain, I am. Me and Kurt Cobain, innit? I am actually quite cool, and I do dress well. So if you don't think I'm dressed well, that's an issue for you, because you're going to need to check out what you're wearing. You're going to want a couple of days down the line, you're going to start thinking. You're going to start seeing people in the old public. Well, not so many people in the public, because they don't all cotton on fast, do they? By the time it gets to Primark, I'm on to the next thing, maybe. I'm on to the next thing, baby. I'm fashionable like Kanye West. Except I'm not going to say anything negative about Jews on the internet or anything. No, not that fashionable. I'm not so fashionable I've turned into a mad right-winger. But big up Eamonn Holmes.
Absolutely epic.
Epic.
Big up Eamonn Holmes From Manchester to Chicago, or Chicago, everywhere I go. From Manchester
To Chicago.
big up,
Eamonn fucking Holmes.
I'm a grass super and the super chauffeur. I promise you pizza, the fine things the world has to offer. A hot dog in the Home Alone house. I don't think I'm going to the Home Alone house now. Walking the streets all alone. Big up Eamonn Holmes. From Manchester to Chicago.
Yeah. Eamonn Holmes.
From Manchester to Chicago. Oh, Chicago. Oh no.
Oh no.
I just walked in a kid's home. Let me go. I'm actually not from out here. I can make you a bowl of grass soup. Oh God. Help. Big up Eamonn Holmes. Oh God. Help. Big up Eamonn Holmes. From Manchester to Chicago.
This little chuffer here, that's younger Scotty when he worked at the hairdressing salon. That's actually me on the day that Oxfam, we've talked about this before, Oxfam had a big sale and I went over the road and bought everything. And there was £1. Look at all those green bags. They're all full of clothes. Really interesting, diverse, different clothes. Because everything was £1 in the sale. Oxfam just said, everything's got to go. Stock is going. We are moving, changing, upgrading, renovating, whatever they did. Everything's got to go. And I was in there and like, I bought that dress for £1. And damn it if I didn't put it on along with a hat that I also bought for £1. And all the girls in the salon, I was just like, whatever you want, take it all. Look at these bags and bags of clothes, all the designer gear, all the good stuff. They must have like, you know, I was left with bags of like random clothes. That's me in the dress. And that's Kurt Cobain in a dress. And this is me in this. This is me in this. Listen, you want to take your style cues from Scotty Hottie. Don't listen to people like Luke. Luke gets his sex tips from the Beano. Luke gets his style tips from fucking Andrew Tate. He gets his sex tips from the Beano. I look great. I'm cool. I'm smooth. I'm vegan. Luke's meager portions. His mum should have had it. Anyway, look. Close up some windows. What are we doing? You wanted to see what Luke was eating. He was eating a pizza. Did you not see this one yet? We'll look at it again.
These are the 3 nicest, in reverse order,
in reverse order,
classic foods that I had.
Oh, I didn't realise that as well.
Something that I've always wanted to.
I forgot that. I didn't realise that. He'd done that in reverse order. So this means he thinks the pizza is the worst thing he ate out of all these things, and the hot dog is the best thing. The corn dog is the best thing, and the steak sandwich sits in the middle, I suppose. But I would critique that, and obviously, and I'd say the steak sandwich was the worst thing he ate.
My whole life is classic deep dish.
Mind you, a hot dog dipped in Cheetos isn't much better.
Cargo style pizza. Check that bad boy out.
Check that bad boy out. Whoa, wallop! Look at that. Whoa, oh.
Style deep dish pizza. Look at that bad boy.
Look at that.
Check that.
Check that.
Got sausage in there somewhere.
I think there's a sausage in there somewhere. Well, there will be when I get mine in there. So Chicago pizza, for anyone that doesn't know, is a normal pizza, but they put the cheese on the bottom like Nutters, which means they can layer the tomato sauce on top, and they put the big thick rise and crust to make it like a pie. So it's like some sort of pie made out of, like, it's a pizza ingredients turned into a more pie shape, and so you get more tomato for your monies. And it's like a bit more substantial, but you might not want that much tomato, but you get it, and that's what you're eating. There's your dinner. It's a Chicago style of pizza. It's like, in terms of culinary adventures, right, you could literally just make that at home. I do wonder, like, you travel the world and you sample exotic dishes from around the world. I get it. And what's happened in America, no offense Americans if you're watching, but you know, you've not been around that long. And the traditional foods that you went with were basically just European foods for subsistence living, weren't they? Because, like, you know, turning up on a boat in Plymouth Rock, the Puritans and all that. And then I suppose the real ethnic food of America would be whatever the Red Indians so you just don't call them that, do you? Native Americans. You see, whatever I'm saying, like what it was like back in the day with the cowboys, and, you know, whatever the Red Indians were eating, not the beans and the bacon that the cowboys were eating out of their little tins by the campfire, but whatever the native people were eating, that would have been the native food. But then obviously time moves on, and sort of this, I suppose, Italian immigrants brought Italian food, popularised the street food like pizza. It's not the same as Italian pizza, is it? So, like, this is a sort of like late 1800s idea, I guess, like early 1900s concept. So it is interesting to eat the culinary different food from around the world. But Luke's gone for a sort of super modern, like pizza, burgers, chips. Like that, I suppose that is quite what American food could be considered like. But what we didn't see, and I'm not, you know, of course I'm a vegan. Of course I'm not going to be shouting out consumption of animal products. But we didn't see sort of like T-bone steak from a steakhouse. Like that would be quite American, wouldn't it? Or I don't know, like there's a lot of diversity within America, so you can get some really good Mexican food. You can get, like, and I'm not just saying get a takeaway, but like America literally borders Mexico, doesn't it? So like there's all sorts of other foods and culinary delights that you could have sampled, but literally just to go in fast food restaurants. And this one doesn't even seem like a major, you know, this just seems like a sort of standard cafe that serves all sorts of stuff. You would think even with the pizza you would go to the authentic pizzeria or something like that, but he doesn't seem bothered, does he? He's just getting a snack at lunchtime from a fast food place. So maybe he quite likes fast food and that's his thing. I think he, in many ways, and got really serious about this all of a sudden, but in many ways he completely failed to really create content about the food. And it looked more like someone on their lunch break having some food and trying to fit in a bit of a video. And I will always question whether Luke went on a busman's holiday and like whether he did something while he was there other than just wandering about. Because he's shown us the video, and the amount of video he's took is just enough for someone on their day off to go to the Chicago Bulls and take a few videos of food during their lunchtime and maybe go to a bar in the evening. Like, there's not much. And he stayed in an Airbnb where he was a guest in a woman's house, and he had like one room in a woman's house. So like maybe there wasn't much sort of, you know, in between chilling time doing stuff. But like his holiday seemed absent of things that he did. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's got a 50-minute video of the whole trip, and that is walking past the Bean in Memorial Square, going to the Chicago Bulls makes up a big part of it, eating some food. Like, what did he actually do? He went to an Irish bar. It's almost like he was working in a, like, and I know this is a strange concept because I don't know if it is a real thing, and I'm not trying to be like, you know, detective hat on here, but like if for example we had, like, I don't know if this would work, like agency work, like I mean, I've been offered agency work where I was on an employment agency when I was a student, and you would just go to whatever, you know, and it wouldn't be overseas. But there was an option once when I was on an employment agency where they said, like, you know, 6 months in Poland or something like that. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? But like the offer was there. And I don't know if a weekend or a week in Chicago is worth it. But they do have this under the Millennium Park where he was videoing a lot of his stuff. They have this big restaurant, this big sort of conference centre-y thing. Like, it's quite, the restaurant under there is so big they turn the staff over, and if they've got a big event, maybe they just need a load of people to help in the kitchen. That's Luke's experience, isn't it? Like line cook. So maybe he went and did line cook somewhere at an event or something, and like while he was there he got to do some stuff as well. That seems like a really weird concept, and it's a really, you know, outside chance, because like otherwise he just had a really lame holiday, didn't he? So I don't know, like
Yeah, man. Stuffed with cheese. Tomato sauce is quite tangy. Sausage is in there. It's proper heavy, this, you know. You can buy a full pizza, a full one of these, for like $40.
I wonder what it'd be like if you put grass in it. This is the boy who made grass soup. I wonder what you would, whether you would enjoy grass in that. I don't know. Anyway, listen.
Many might not know, but there had been reports that Eamonn had been getting closer to a young female blonde. a divorcee and a relationship counselor, for many years. Although it isn't clear if Ruth discovered messages from the same woman, there is a chance it's the same woman, as Eamonn has many connections with her. As of now, Eamonn hasn't said a word on his behalf and has declined to comment on this claim.
Whoa.
Big up Eamonn holes. Respect and shouts out to Jim McDonald. David, I, don't get certain esteem on us, don't get certain esteem on us.
Ruth Langsford has made a defiant statement about her marriage with Eamonn Holmes following their shocking split after 14 years of marriage. Last month, it was announced that the couple, both 64, were heading for divorce. Eamonn has largely remained silent about the split, only thanking his fans for their support on GB News.
Which is annoying, isn't it? Where's the big interview he said he was going to do? It's almost like they've both signed NDAs now.
Behind the scenes, Eamonn is reportedly seeking comfort from Katie Alexander.
What?
A 42-year-old mother of 3.
Katie Alexander? Who's Katie Alexander?
Who has visited him at his new home over the past 2 weekends.
Whoa! Whoa, hey, what? Who's Katie Alexander? Eamonn Holmes' good friend Yorkshire mum, Katie Alexander, in it for the long haul. What? What? Eamonn Holmes has reportedly been on a number of outings with relationship counsellor Katie Alexander, 42. Cheeky Chop says, wait, I'm not going to let that pass in chat. There's a lot of things that go past in chat, but I'm not going to... Just been at a bus stop with my mate. Bus comes and my mate takes out her rubber eye and starts bouncing it. I said, what the fuck are you doing? She said, I want to see if there's room on the top deck. Thank you very much there, Cheeky Chops. Who's this woman that he's going, ooh... And is it that she wants a leg up on the TV industry, or is she really fruity for Eamonn Holmes? Because I'm questioning whether he's fruity for ladies at all. I'm thinking he's got, like... I think secretly it's him and Jim McDonald all the way, and they just need these ladies to pretend that they're straight for their own public image, even though they don't need that. They've decided to do that. And that throws all these other questions around about what he said about Philip Schofield and all sorts of stuff, doesn't it? You know, there's all sorts of questions then about what's been going on. You want to get Mark Williams Thomas to see if you weren't out. Could you? Oh, is he? Oh, what if he's been out in Tenerife? Oh, what if he's been out in Tenerife? Eamonn Holmes and a friend, Airbnb in Tenerife. Just saying. We haven't confirmed that he's not there. We haven't confirmed that he's not gone out there. So maybe Mark Williams Thomas can help us on that. Where are we in chat there? Admit audacity. That's not the right language. I'm just going to remove that comment. So I'll assume you made a mistake there and just remove that comment. Just...
Following the split, Eamonn moved out of their luxury home in Surrey to a rented apartment in southwest London, where Katie has been seen visiting him. The split reportedly occurred after Ruth found messages between Eamonn and a mystery woman on his laptop, leaving her devastated and angry.
Did we just watch this one? Is this the same one? No, is this another video that's saying the same thing, yeah? No, this one just said about this woman though, didn't it? Yeah. Oh, he does look tubbish there, doesn't he? Look how wide he looks.
To have met Katie after she commented on one of his posts on X, formerly Twitter.
She commented on his post on Twitter, and that's how he met her. So that's weird as well, isn't it? Because I actually, as a content creator, believe that other content creators may be on a similar level, you can interact with, but people just commenting on your Twitter and stuff, that sounds very Philip Schofield as well, doesn't it? There was that issue with him in the Twitter. I don't know if it's necessarily a good idea for Eamonn to solicit a relationship with someone who contacts him on Twitter, and his position as, media mogul or whatever he is, and her position as aspiring media person. Relationship counsellor. I doubt she'd want to do that on telly. I doubt she'd want to go on This Morning and give or maybe GB News and give. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't want to be on the media.
They met in person last October at a charity event in Yorkshire, near Katie's home.
So they've already met?
And have since developed a close friendship.
So then it's not off Twitter, it's actually off for meetings. That's different, isn't it?
Despite the turmoil, Ruth has remained strong and continues to wear her wedding ring.
Probably can't get it off.
She was seen enjoying a night out at Giovanni Pernis and Anton Du Becker's London stage show, together, invited by her close friend Anton.
Didn't she dance with him on Strictly Come Dancers?
A source told the Mirror that Katie is helping Eamonn through this difficult time and does not want to be seen as a homewrecker.
Homewrecker. Well, there you've got it though. He met her, she's been texting him, he's been laptop messages for years apparently. Homewrecker. But you ought to believe that he's got it going on to pull this lady. And that he's into the ladies and he's going out there and what does she want with that? What are they doing? Getting down and doing the dirty? I can't see that. Eamonn. I don't think that's his type. I don't think she's his type. But you ought to believe that because that's good for his public image, I reckon.
Katie.
You think what you like, I'm allowed to think what I like. It's just a thing I think about celebrities.
A marriage counsellor, is committed to supporting Eamonn and plans to be close to him for a long period.
Well, you haven't fixed his marriage, have you? You've ruined it, you homewrecker.
She was recently spotted driving to and from his luxury flat and is...
What, she has to go driving to and from his luxury... I suppose he's got the nicer house, hasn't he? But, you wouldn't send a car, Eamonn. Are you coming round again to, I bet he's such a fucking nightmare, isn't he? And I bet she has to, rub his little feet and rub his back and, she's working her way up, isn't she? That's how you work your way up in the Manchester Media Mafia. Rub Eamonn's little feet, isn't it? Or does she just turn up, and go and spend some time on her own in the other space like Ruth used to when they lived together?
Named as someone helping him through the impending divorce.
Was Ruth a homewrecker? Homewrecker. I don't know, what was Ruth, because did Eamonn have oh yeah, Eamonn had a family before that, didn't he? Homewrecker. And here's this as well, look.
Wheelchair at the TR.
Here he is.
Eamonn Holmes.
Now, I did see what one of you put in chat. You're not bad people, you're all right. But just the language, the language. Eamonn is here pictured in a wheelchair. He wasn't in the wheelchair when he did the Loose Women, talking about how he's recovered from his accident, so I don't know what's going on with that, but he is being pictured in a wheelchair here.
Made his first public appearance in a wheelchair at the TRIC Awards following his split from Ruth Langsford.
At the TRIC Awards, I don't even know what that is.
The 64-year-old broadcaster skipped the red carpet and attended the event solo, marking his first appearance at an award ceremony since the breakup announcement last month after 14 years of
I don't know who those people are either.
Marriage. Holmes was seen in a wheelchair, dressed in a black suit, white shirt.
Right, so they're just going to tell us all the basics then, yeah? But he was out. GB News Breakfast won the Best News Programme Award, so it's a load of bollocks what he's turned up at then. These award shows, you just buy the table and then the big table that you've paid for. Oh, I've got an award as well. That came with it. Load of bollocks, isn't it? But then there's a lady going over and, he's been photographed with a lady. Again, look. With a saucy lady. Funny how the only photograph that's come out of is of him with a blonde saucy lady. Almost like I could believe that he was out there saucing up the ladies. It's good the way the media works, isn't it? The way you can sort of put things out there and people might think what you think. Eamonn is such an idiot. Eamonn Holmes is such a chuffing idiot, isn't he? Whoever's working on his PR, him and Jim McDonald, What you don't see is that sat next to him over here is Philip Schofield's runner. Probably because Eamonn used to work on This Morning, and they probably, you know, the staff. The GB News runner, which is probably nothing like Philip Schofield's runner. It's just so contrived, isn't it? Eamonn Holmes' divorce. The big up Eamonn Holmes.
Big up Eamonn Holmes.
And Luke specifically shouted him out in his episode with Jim, didn't he? Jim McDonald. Specifically shouted him out. Specifically. In fact, I haven't even kept up with this. I'll play this because I don't think you've all seen it. Super Clipper. Super Clipper. I haven't kept up with the Super Chopper channel because they're spinning plates, but a couple of months ago I put a few more clips up on here. We can get it going, we can get it pumping again. You know, we'll keep pumping at the Super Clipper. We'll keep it moving along as I get back in the groove on my own, doing everything on my own. But this is Charlie Lawson.
Is the ladies in Curry were stars. I mean, let's face it, you know, we only had 4 channels and they were stars, and by God they let you know you were stars, you know, and they shall remain nameless, so they shall. But it was quite a shock to the system, all these people pouncing about in fancy dress and all this sort of carry on. I mean, they were all lovely, but and then of course the fame bit comes in, and every skeleton I had in the cupboards, of which there were very many, they all appeared and came jumping out to smack me in the teeth. And of course the fame was brilliant because, you know, I'm a horse racing man, and you know, I was being invited to the horse races, and I was partying all night. You know, I mean, it was 4 years of me doing curry. I don't remember a damn thing about it. But contrary to what anybody might say, I was never late, and I never let anybody down.
Contrary to what anybody might say, I was never late.
Just partied and worked my ass off. So it
Bless
was
you.
work hard and play hard, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And contrary to what
Bless
some
you.
people have written, I never battled anything. I never battled any booze or anything else. I was just having a brilliant time. And I went on really for 11 years with the lovely Beverly, and she was very patient, bless her, and because we worked very different ways. And then Bev left, and
He's on GB News.
you know, I decided that I felt that, well, the writers were getting bored with the character, and I was getting bored with the writing, so we all
He
should
definitely didn't get the sack for being drunk at work all the fucking time.
hands
And argy-bargy and aggressive and not learning his lines and not doing his lines properly, despite having the contract where it says you're supposed to learn your lines and deliver them. Making it up on the spot. Controversial opinions. Bullying in the green room. None of that stuff got him the sack.
I've been back 9 times since.
9 times?
So it's all worked terribly well.
9 times?
So now it is time for outside. Now,
And Luke got an interview with him as well. Didn't he? Good old Luke.
People states when they visit here, when they see anxious elephant, they're in a terrible state. They're suicidal. Bullshit.
His face is so red. I reckon like him and Eamonn Holmes are big friends. I definitely reckon that. When I say I reckon it, I mean I definitely 100%, 1,000,000%. Him and Eamonn Holmes are big friends. We should write a song for them.
Big up Eamonn Holmes from Manchester to Chicago. Oh, Chicago. Everywhere I go. From Manchester to Chicago. Big up Eamonn Holmes. I'm a grass super and the super chopper.
Right. I mean, honestly, you want to check. We on this show, and if you haven't seen some of those episodes, actually, maybe a couple of them are members' content, the Eamonn Holmes rabbit hole. But we on this show have been looking down that rabbit hole, and you want to get on the videos on this channel if you haven't seen them. Luke interviews Charlie Lawson. Honestly, if you haven't seen any of the Luke stuff on this channel, like that's something massive that you definitely want to see. But most of you have seen it, haven't you? So you know what I'm talking about. Right, here's something that you haven't seen really, so you don't know what we're talking about, which is people jumping off a diving board and people jumping off a diving board to finish. How are we on? We're on 2 hours. We're doing all right. It's a little Friday Nutterwatch. Listen, some weeks the Nutters aren't. I mean, I could go anywhere with this. I could talk about any Nutters. So it's not really about the Nutters. I won't say the Nutters aren't out there doing the nutty stuff. That's not the case. This week, what it's more been is I've been more focused on some other things, writing and doing stuff, and then Mark Williams Thomas turned up in Tenerife, and tonight, if I've got time, which we're now at 9:30, but I want to jump over to Twitch and talk Ida Tracure and the Jay Slater stuff on Twitch, so that I see what I get out of it and put on YouTube for Super Chuffer. But I need to review Ida Tracure's involvement, and yeah, so I'm going to get on and do that after this. That's going to have to happen. So yeah, death diving, as promised. And we've got a new one tonight, haven't we? We've got a new person that we're going to put in. I'm going to research this now.
No, really, I don't want to take out my trash. They could pull up. I heard about hearing of this.
I'm going to research this lady now, and we're going to find her Dr. Phil, and we're going to make sure that we research her as well. Our new... In fact, what we didn't do is there's two things we didn't do. We didn't do this, so I'll do this quickly, and then we'll finish on the death diving. Let's hear from her one more time, because she's our new one now.
Or be 5'5". Most of the time be 5'5". Like 80% of the time, or no, 99% of the time is gonna be had bad breath ever. Like there's like no chance. It's gonna be a ban. You guys are hygiene. Yeah. If you know you're gonna see a girl, like shave, brush your teeth, mouthwash, wax.
Obviously, I would brush my teeth.
Wax.
So do that. Take it for granted that I do that twice a day, don't you?
Put on a nice cologne.
Wax what? I'm not waxing anything. You can shut up. I do wear a signature scent.
Put on a nice cologne. Cooch, you are a worthless, good-for-nothing loser. You are a cockroach that needs to be crushed. You will never lose your virginity. You are a pathetic, good-for-nothing loser. You're a broke, pathetic, worthless pig. And you need to leave me alone.
I think that was just for the person that she banned, really.
Look attractive. Like, honestly, like... That's really...
Fair enough. Like, she might have a point about men's height, although I don't get that point because I find it strange because I've always, when asked, just told people the truth about my height. I just think it's really weird to sort of like make it up because then when people meet you, you don't look the same as you said you did. So they notice and it just makes you look stupid, doesn't it? In fact, if you're short, you actually want to say you're an inch shorter, so when you turn up, you look a little bit taller than they expected.
Like, honestly, like, that's really it. Like...
Or, actually,
like,
what I said is probably wrong. If you're short, you just want to tell people the height and then find people that just don't care if you're not tall or like, don't have height as a metric of beauty. Like, because it doesn't have to be everyone's metric of beauty, does it? So, like, actually what I said was wrong. I played into the patriarchy or the whatever, then, like, the beauty standards of today by saying, if you're short, you need to try and make it appear to... No, you don't. You just be yourself. And then the people that are good people that you, like, you know... bounce with, we're going to bounce with you, like, and you don't worry about this lady because she's not going to be really much fun sitting across the table from you anyway, is she?
Makes a guy more attractive than another guy physically is like, to me, it's like if a guy is clean, if a guy, like, I'm not even joking, it's like hygiene. I'm just giving my opinion first.
This is really easy as well because, like, hygiene's an easy one. Just shower twice a day, brush your teeth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what men don't... I mean, maybe I'm getting this wrong. Maybe I'm getting this wrong. But to me, shower twice... I mean, I don't shower twice a day, but if I was with her, I could. Do you know what I mean? Brush my teeth twice a day, definitely. What more do you want from me, hygiene-wise? I don't think there's anything unhygienic about the rest of me, so that's fine. I'll wash it before I stick it. I think that's a really easy win. Like, she's looking for a really, like, she's got a really, I suppose I was going to say broad, you know, taste range, but she doesn't. But she's just like, this is one of her standards anyway. But it's a standard, like, human social standard to wash. Like, if you had problems with your hygiene, I would also not want to date you. So that's equal footing that we're on here.
For me, at least.
Talking to her. Actually, saying that, there was once I would... Listen, saying that, right? Once I met this girl in a club and she was a bit stinky because she'd been sweaty dancing. Like, she'd sweaty and, like, BO stinky. Not muffin mod stinky, you know, not down there stinky. But just a bit stinky under the arms, and we went back to my place and we did the watching of a video first bit, and that was, you know, I felt about saying, should I, like, you know, I don't know what. So as obviously when we got into the bed and she took off the clothes, like the stinky was more, and in the end I just sort of went with it. Just like you know, we're about to get more sweaty. I've been sweaty in the club. She's sweaty. She's not going to be here forever. So it's all right. Just a bit smellish. You prefer a man shower fresh. Fair enough. Like, you know, I don't think that I would get to the point where I'm like stinky, like, you know, stinky bad stinky. So I think we're all right. But like, obviously not always going to be shower fresh, but no one is. And I was saying that it's a standard thing, but actually I would actually accept a sort of maybe slightly lower level of hygiene than I think I should sometimes, because come on. It's I'm not a skanker, but you know, I didn't make the girl have a shower after the club before we got into bed, basically. So.
If there's two guys and I just had to, you know, if I did like I don't know, like what makes a guy more attractive is just literally smelling good, not being dirty. Is that, to me, there's nothing.
Oh, also she said about money. She wants him to be rich, didn't she?
Like there's no like haircut that's
they have to have a job
better than the other. There's no does that make sense? There's no eye color that's better. This
is a really weird thing, because for me there are like attractive qualities, there are differences, and I find different things attractive in different ways, but if you ask me to put together, like, you know, my favourite things, I suppose I still sort of could, but it wouldn't necessarily be like that precluded other things. But like, she's just saying nothing is off the table as long as they've got a job and they smell right.
Tomato, like, honestly, what makes
it's interesting, isn't it? There's a bit of this where she starts
from your thigh.
There's a bit of this where she goes on about men's mental health and how like they don't have a right to claim that they're depressed, which is an interesting part, and I don't know when it comes, so I wanted to show that, but it's before this, isn't it? Because I was
happens. Yeah, it's like I don't like. There's nothing that I need. And you need to fucking knock it off. You need to fucking stop. What you need is a job. What you need is a job, or to lower your fucking standards.
You've seen that bit.
It's basic fucking taller than each and every single. Look at my height at the doctor's office, or broke pigs. You are trash. If I had to pick between dating a cockroach and one of you guys, I'd pick the cockroach. No, I will not be quitting. Micropene. You're a fucking trash loser, and you will never lose your virginity. Ever. Or get a girlfriend. You are pathetic, and you live in your mom's basement.
There's the mom's basement. They all have that, don't they?
Anyways, you guys, yeah.
It's weird, like, because I literally, like, you know, last night skimming through it, found this, and I literally found her saying stuff about men's mental health. Maybe she's clipped that out because, like, it was pretty bad.
A ruler. Go whip out a ruler. Go.
Like, but it seems like it's not in that section.
Find.
But that's what she was. I didn't watch this section. I didn't see this, so it wasn't in this necessarily. Although she probably gets worse, and there's 9 hours of it. I mean, imagine 9. I mean, I do 9-hour streams, yeah, and we've got stuff to talk about and stuff. But she's literally just like holding the phone and berating people.
I'm pretty sure Russia, or wait.
Like, it's a different world that, like, you know, I'm set up in my computer with my
centimeters.
And I see these. I understand phone streaming. I understand it, but it's a different world to be sat with just your phone talking into your phone. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a different kind of world. Psychoanalysis on this lady is that she's quite unhappy about a relationship maybe in the past, or you know, maybe I don't want to be cliched myself and suggest daddy issues or whatever, but she seems to get negative attention and enjoy it, and she wants negative attention from men, and she wants to, like, this reaction that she provokes is often a negative one, and that gets her the negative attention and she likes it. So there's that mechanism going on. So she needs attention, and she's inside feeling quite upset and angry about things, so she's kind of lashing out at everything. And all the money in the world doesn't make her happy. She said that earlier as well, like rich people don't think about money. Like, she's like, I think this is the case as well. I think if you give someone everything they could possibly, you know, I've learned today that she's got quite a affluent background and she doesn't want for anything. So like, if you give people just a luxurious apartment and loads of free time and, you know, a nice computer and all this and whatever, some people might use it to create and go on and do something with their life, and other people might use it to solicit the negative attention that they desire. It's a bit like the nappy lady that we looked at earlier, the diaper girl, you know, soliciting attention on the internet, because like, it's a very strange behaviour otherwise, isn't it? You don't see this all the time.
Literally, like, it eventually stopped bleeding, so then I go to...
And then she's talking about stuff, so I don't know, we'd have to, like, I'd have to look into it more, which is what we're going to do in the future. So we discovered her today. She's interesting. It's a shame that I couldn't quite find the bit about the mental health. Maybe I can just do this. It's not brought up the transcript because it's 9 hours long, isn't it? So
I'm like, again, what am I blaming men for? I'm stating the obvious. There are a lot of men that are sad because they're virgins and they're losers and they can't get a fucking girlfriend. Fuck you. They can't get a girlfriend. They're just complete, like, worthless losers and virgins. It's like, I'm just saying, go get a job or lower your standards. I'm just stating the fucking obvious. Of course I'm a Trump supporter. I am an avid Trump supporter.
So that's where we came in.
Always been.
But that's 7 minutes since. Maybe it was just before it. Maybe at the start. I didn't realise I must have seen her.
These are all ideas stolen from women. Men did not build anything.
Oh no, it seems like she's cut it. It seems like she's cut it, yeah.
I wholeheartedly believe they were all ideas that were stolen from women. It's just men taking credit for women's work. You guys need to shut the fuck up. You guys need to shut the fuck up about that stuff. Anyways, this is a Ask Me Anything. I will be answering all questions. If you guys need any advice or have any type of questions, let me know. All ideas stolen from women.
Also, she's not a very good streamer because you can't follow the conversation from the chat. Like, I could get the chat up and we could, you know, try and follow it, but when you read out someone's chat, for example, Jersey Girl asks, Shirley, do you remember Canoe Aftershave? I don't know what Canoe Aftershave is. I mean, you can see the chat on the screen, so it's different, but if I were to read out someone's chat and I say who I'm talking to and about or with, and I read out what they say, then you can follow it. But she's talking back to people. No, that's an idea that came from women. No, that's an idea, but you don't know what the idea is, so you can't, like, follow what she's even saying. So she's living in her own head here. Like, she's not really creating content for the audience, if you know what I mean. Like, it becomes incomprehensible to the audience at a later date if you weren't in the chat having the chat, like, or if I don't have the chat on the screen, which I don't.
I'm gonna be timing people out that are spamming my chat. Guys are white. I think they look normal. Fine to me. They're supposed to be white. White. I hope they'd be white and not like grayed or crazy. Everything men just stole women's ideas. So the like white wall, septum just deviated. That's why it's, if you guys know, it's not that big of a...
Big ups, Kaz. Whatever happened to the woman in the car, the one you paid a $5? What woman in the car that I paid a $5? You mean on a video? Oh yeah, I know what you mean. You mean the mad... she was the one that punched her boyfriend in the face on the live stream. That one, yeah. And if you pay money, it played the song, and we played Alan's video, and she watched Alan's video in the... Like, that was fucking weird, wasn't it? I did an episode on it that went on the members. That was quite big news on the internet. I just put it as members, which was a kind of foolish move of mine. But yeah, we could look back. She's like her, isn't she? I think the thing with the woman that we're talking about, that woman that punched her boyfriend in the face, is she's like basically acting up like deliberately for the internet. And I suppose this lady is very much as well, isn't she? And I tend to look for people who are more naive and direct with their being nutters, but this is really intriguing to me, and I like this one. So.
I just can't breathe as well.
Yeah, this lady and the other lady that punched the woman in the face, they go together, don't they? So they punch the man in the face, they go together.
It's a permanent ban. You're a fat pig. You too, you're a fucking loser. Go get a job. That is so sweet, Lovely. Shout out to Lovely.
I'll give you one more minute.
Release more music.
I'm going to give her one more minute to say something bad about men's mental health, because that's where I came into her story. Is I just was going through the streams and she was literally saying men don't have mental health problems, there's no such thing. And I was going to bite and say, actually, suicide is quite prevalent in men, and the way you're talking about feelings and men shouldn't cry and have feelings and all this, it's actually very provocative, and it seems like you're just, and then I clicked. I was like, obviously she's just like, doing that. And like the people that get eggy in her chat, she bans them though, which is a strange thing, because I thought she wanted the negative attention back from them. Like maybe she likes it. She gets someone eggy, they get shitty, she bans them, and she's like, fuck you, you've been banned, and now I'm going to say something bad about you. Maybe that's what she enjoys. But there's an even like stranger feedback loop where there were people in her chat tipping her, and I get the feeling there was a sort of financial domination or a sort of they enjoy someone talking down to them, so they'll give them money sort of angle.
What do you mean release more music? I don't know if I want to do that, because like when I used to do music.
Oh my god, she used to do music. This is brilliant. We're going to have such a great time looking into her story. Not tonight, but we've got her coming up on Nutterwatch now. I'm going to spend a bit of a week looking at her videos and picking some bits out, I guess.
People were very ungrateful. I didn't really feel appreciated.
On this channel this week coming up, on Monday onwards, next week coming up, obviously tonight I intend to watch some Twitch videos, some videos on Twitch. We'll probably see Luke's my reacting to Luke's stuff on this channel, and stuff like that maybe. Might get a bit of this as well, you never know.
People weren't like buying my albums, or like, I don't know,
I need to do a big Phil catch up as well about his days off.
I didn't really feel like appreciated, and I felt taken advantage of, so I took it all away basically.
Oh, it doesn't exist anymore.
And and I did warn everyone. I was like, like if you guys don't start appreciating me more, like doing more for me, I'm gonna take it away. So
if you don't appreciate me more, right, and buy my records, I'm gonna stop making them, take them away. Is the strangest marketing for your music I've ever heard.
There was a fair warning given, so I don't know if I'll do music again. I have to think about things. Yeah.
You could play my flute. How'd you like that? Was that patriarchal, misogynistic, or like that? Because you're being like really eggy yourself, so I think I should give it you a bit back.
I definitely got to think about things, but maybe I might decide to do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be, guys, make sure you're subscribed to my channel, because I'm gonna be increasing the chat filters at some point. I want to give new fans an opportunity to participate in chat, but while at the same time filter out, the incels that are making multiple accounts. There are guys that are losers. They're like unemployed bums, complete fucking worthless unemployed bums. They live in their mom's couch, damaged goods, fatherless.
See how weird it is that she just slips into this? I feel like she's got some sort of backstory with like people, like she said, come in and like, I think she's got specific people that she's talking to. But you see how weird it is the way she slips into this. It's very Alan as well, isn't it? Like in a way, like he's like this sort of pre-load. Like it's like she's loaded the tape about these incel men, and like now she's going to start the rant start like just out of nowhere as well.
Men that their whole life purpose is to just harass beautiful women because
beautiful woman, not women, but woman.
They are losers, and these guys are virgins. They're this fucking big. They're this fucking big, sad, pathetic micro.
Like, again, I get the feeling that maybe there's like 1 or 2 out there that are like her top pay pigs. But then she doesn't need the money apparently, but like, maybe she does. But like, I get the feeling there's a couple of people out there that she's sort of demeaning and they like it, but they still get blocked. So they come back and she blocks them, and that's part of the dance maybe. Like, do you know what I mean?
Teens, disgusting. A lot of you men need rulers and a mirror. You need rulers and a mirror. I want everybody to go whip out a ruler. Go whip out a ruler. Go find a mirror. Get in front of that mirror. Remove.
Unless I'm 30 centimeters tall, I'm going to have trouble measuring my height with a ruler. Or do you want me to measure my penis? In which case I wouldn't need the mirror. I can just look down. What are we doing here? I don't even need the mirror to measure my height. In fact, I could, with a set of meter sticks or with a tape measure, which is the more useful, I would not need the mirror. And also, I don't need a mirror generally to know what I look like, because I can remember, because I've seen myself a lot. So I do know what I look like.
Everything. Take this ruler and you already know what to do. Look at that fucking number. Look at the number on the fucking ruler and don't ever fucking forget that number, and go look in a fucking mirror too. Alright? And remember who the fuck you guys are. Pigs. You guys need to leave me alone.
Right? What's your show about tonight, love?
Shouldn't do. What the fuck? You guys are so weird.
So yeah, we'll be getting a bit more of a look at her, yeah. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to do the death diving to finish. And I did say this, but this will just be a short one, right? Because we don't need to do this for a long time. This is no place like home. This is our favourite flat earth, truther, biblical homeschooler who is raising several children and is their only connection to education, apparently. And this is one of her more recent videos. Listen, that is her daughter in the picture, so I'm not going to zoom it any bigger than that. It's only a very little picture of a kid. It's not my fault she's done it. But what we would do, I suppose, I could just get the frame, and I think this is a mistake of her to put pictures of her kids on the internet like that. So I'm just going to move them off the picture, and we'll carry on with the video. Right? And then it'll only be on for a short time, and then we can bring the frame back up.
Everyone, I'm Shelly, and you're watching There's No Place Like Home. I'm back with another Question the Narrative video, and today's topic is ancient trees or just rocks?
They're rocks.
And yeah.
In fact, in this picture, you can see like how big the rock is, because obviously the daughter stood next to it on a field trip learning about nature or some shit. Yeah, clearly that's rocks, isn't it? It's not ancient trees, that one. So there's a tree on top of it.
Yes, I did say ancient.
Sorry, you said what?
And yes, I did say ancient. I've had someone complain twice now in the comments about how I pronounce the word ancient, telling me that it's supposed to be ancient, and I've never in my life heard anyone say it that way. So I'm going to continue saying ancient because
You've never heard anyone say ancient. Instead, you've heard them say ancient. So you're going to fucking carry on. I mean, what are the kids going to learn? How are you teaching them to speak? I haven't heard anyone else say it like that, apart from, well, no, I haven't heard anyone else say it like that. So I'm going to say it the way I say it, and you can get fucked. Maybe it's just a dialect issue, you know, maybe that's just a local colloquial thing. But I'm being corrected on the pronunciation of a word. She's refused the advice. She's refused it. You could check it on the internet. Ancient pronunciation. Ancient pronunciation.
Ancient.
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 That's British. American.
Ancient.
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 Ancient. Ancient.
Ancient. So what is she saying? Oh, too many windows. Scott's got too many windows. Too many windows.
Pronounce the word ancient. Just rocks. And yes, I did say ancient. I've had someone
Ancient. No, she's definitely not saying it right.
complain twice now in the comments about how I pronounce the word ancient, telling me that it's supposed to be ancient.
You've taught all of your children are totally dependent on you for their education, and this is your approach to this word.
And I have never in my life...
Like, and the correction of the word, and like, just to put this at the start of today's episode as well, like, you know, listen, fuck you, get prepared for me to say it wrong all the time. How about that? I mean, you have to be prepared for her to be wrong all the time, because she is.
I've had someone complain twice now in the comments about how I pronounce the word ancient.
But I love this one.
Telling me that it's supposed to be ancient, and I have never in my life heard anyone say it that way. So I'm going to continue saying ancient because that's how everyone else that I know says it, and that's how I'm comfortable saying it. So, unfortunately, if you don't like the way that I say ancient, you're going to have to get used to it because I'm going to say that word a lot on this channel. So anyway, I'm a bit backed up on my emails, and I actually found 2 emails from February that are both about the same thing. They were both about biblical trees or ancient trees. And I
see, now every time she fucking says it, it's like a button that's going to go off, isn't it, in your mind? Ancient trees. What are we looking at here? We're looking at a set of rocks with, like, one of the problems with what Shelley does is she offers ideas, we'll call them ideas, but when presenting you with something, and a lot of these flat earthers and these nonsense talkers do this, is they don't explain what it's supposed to be first. Like, they don't say, right, I've looked into this, and conventional science would say that this is shale rock, which is formed from sediment moving down and being packed down and over thousands of years, and, like, you know, they won't go into that and then debunk it or critique it, whatever. What they'll say is, this is a picture of, I'm not telling you where, and let's just say this. And, like, there's a real lack of accountability for their research.
Wow.
The thing that annoys me the most is when they use Google. That's the thing that annoys me the most, and a lot of them do it. And then in the same breath, so to speak, they will say that obviously Google, you can't trust the scientists, you can't trust the mainstream, you've got to question the narrative. Well, who the fuck owns Google? Who the fuck put Google together? A load of scientists. Like, you can't just get pictures off Google and say they're probably pictures that are legit. I can rely on the pictures because they're on Google, and then use them as, like, the premise for what you're talking about. If your whole thing involves at some point debunking the work of scientists and people on, like, that run Google and the Illuminati, you know, whatever, you know, you can't debunk. Like, it just annoys the piddle out of me when they do that. But yeah,
it's funny that I received
this might be one that she's taken herself.
Emails from 2 different people about the same topic.
She's received emails from 2 different people about the same topic because she's talked about this topic before, and people send emails about topics. Just because you get 2 doesn't mean it's a sign from God.
And I found them really intriguing, so I'm finally going to get to them today. This is a topic that I have covered before, but I wanted to share with you some photos, some amazing photos that one of the people who emailed shared with me, because I have never seen such blatant examples of petrified wood that is not admitted to be petrified wood. And so I just wanted to show that.
Okay, before you do, oh, no, let's carry on.
To you, and also share with you some photos that I have shared in other videos that you may have missed, and some examples of some real wood, I'll quote real wood, things that they will admit are wood because they're still obviously from trees. They're just not gigantic. They're normal sized trees to us, and just show you the similarities between the two. The channel that I was actually introduced to the concept of these huge biblical, or I'm saying biblical because I'm assuming they're coming from biblical times when things were much larger, probably antediluvian times.
Antediluvian means before Noah's flood, when things were a lot larger. Obviously, things weren't a lot larger. The oxygen levels on Earth in prehistoric times meant that you could have larger insects and larger biological life because there was more oxygen in the atmosphere, and so animals adapted to that by being bigger in certain ways. Certain animals, especially with insects, although there is a limit because insects breathe through capillary holes in their carapace. So like you make them bigger, you increase their surface area, they can take more oxygen, they can be bigger. But you have to have enough oxygen in the atmosphere to take when you are bigger, otherwise you can't be bigger. But obviously there's a limit to that because surface area isn't an exponential growth thing. If you grow bigger, the surface area of those capillaries doesn't grow in exponential terms the same as you. So that means like you end up like there's like a curve, and then there's a limit to how big you can get. That's evolution. It hits that curve, that peak, and it's like we can't get any bigger because we can't get enough oxygen into the system with this system, no matter how big we get. If we get bigger, it gets worse because we need more oxygen for the whole system, but the surface area of these things doesn't, as they increase, it doesn't increase in the same rate as the system. So that's how that worked. And then after, obviously, the prehistoric times, there was less oxygen in the system because of things like a giant meteor hitting the Earth, probably. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then the amount of oxygen that's in our atmosphere denotes the sort of size that animals now grow to, because we use oxygen, that's our thing. And like oxygen is a certain molecule at a certain size, and you need a certain amount of it. And again, if you as a human being were 10 times bigger, you would need to breathe in 10 times more oxygen, I guess, but those little molecules would still be the same size. So your lung capacity and the way it worked, you wouldn't necessarily just be able to say, right, I'll just take a big deeper breath with my 10 times bigger lungs. Like, it wouldn't necessarily work. And we're at that limit of how big we can get with the amount of oxygen. That's what evolution's done. So what she thinks and what she says about things being bigger in the past doesn't make any sense at all. And also, if there were giants, like bone structure, bone density, you're talking about, she believes that giants existed, like, and they were humanoid, essentially, giants. And those, of course, they would have to have, again, blood vessels, like the size of a pipe. Imagine your house is 10 times bigger, so your pipes are 10 times bigger and wider and bigger. But then when you turn the tap on, how do you get the water pressure? Because you still, if you made a 10 times bigger room and you put taps in, you still need the pipes the same size as our water system, because otherwise they can't get the pressure. Like, if you make a bigger system with bigger pipes, you need bigger pressure, and that means the blood has to be either thicker, or there needs to be so much more of it. And like, you think about these things and they don't work because they can't work, physics. But if you don't understand physics or biology, then maybe you teach your kids a load of shit.
I was first introduced to that on the channel Hangman 1128, and he just does a great job showing us what wood looks like and what petrified wood looks like, except in much larger pieces of it, gigantic, gargantuan trees that we are constantly told is wood. So if you want a really good crash course on this topic, go to Hangman 1128. I highly recommend.
Interesting, because I assumed you're going to give me a bit of a crash course on this topic, but in the future we will have a look at Hangman 1128 then, I guess. There's another nutter that's come up on Nutterwatch tonight that we need to investigate.
And that channel. The first email that I'm sharing with you is from Sherry, and let's just read what it says. Shelley, I have so appreciated and enjoyed all of your videos. I am a homeschooling mom of many who is nearing the end of that journey, as my youngest is 16.
Her youngest boy is now 16, so she's finishing homeschooling them, but she really likes Shelley's content.
I have been questioning the narrative since around 2014.
You should question the narrative, but you should also question the bullshit that you get pumped into you if you try and question the narrative. Just questioning the mainstream narrative doesn't mean having no critical thinking skills and believing a load of nonsense, does it? Critique the nonsense. I'm questioning the narrative right now. I'm questioning your rubbish.
And since CVID have been researching mudflood / Tartaria, etc. It's fascinating, and I love hearing new theories and considering new ideas. My husband and I moved from Maine to Texas about 30 years ago, but we visit Maine a few times a year to visit family. There is a particular lobster shack that is on the ocean and that we like to eat in the summer. A couple of years ago, while walking along the coastline after lunch, and with seemingly new eyes, I yelled out, "These are trees!" I have probably been to this shack at least 20 times. Anyhow, I am including a link to the album that shows these gigantic stone trees that seem to be stacked along the coast. The Portland Headlight coastline also has these stone trees. The last video on the album, I believe, shows one massive tree laid down. This is the album. So this is the first of the photos that Sherry kindly shared with me to.
So these are the first of the photos. She said the Portland headland, didn't she? Portland headland. Is that... Isle of Portland. Portland, Oregon? In the Midwest? I'm getting confused. Did I get the wrong location? Did I get the wrong location? Nicole Kessinger, brown bikini. What did she say? Maine to Texas. We visit Maine a few times. Maine. Okay, so this is Maine. Whatever the fuck Maine is. Maine headland then. Maine. Open headland. Main headland. Rocks. Explained. Geology of the park. Coastal Maine geology. Coastal marine geology, sorry. Maine government. Frequently asked questions. Well, there's a lot of information, isn't there? I just want to know what rocks they are, basically. Open headland. Coastline bedrock. It's the bedrock. It's the bedrock. Okay. Sites occur on bedrock areas exposed to salt spray. It's bedrock exposed to salt spray. So the formation of the main bedrock is what she's suggesting is trees. old trees.
The last video. So this is the first of the photos that Sherry kindly shared with me to share with you. And one of the things that I think about when it comes to petrified trees is how would these gigantic...
I did promise we'd watch this, and I promised we'd watch the death diving, so I'm going to do both of those things and try and fit it in the next sort of 20, 30, maybe 40 minutes. We don't need to go too long on this, because we're going to show some pictures of trees, and I'm going to say they're not trees, aren't I? But
petrified trees.
But yeah, after this, sorry.
Be petrified to begin with. What happened? And we know now this, I think, looks like one gigantic tree.
It doesn't look like one gigantic tree. It looks like the bedrock. And my guess is it's going to be a sort of shale, like just a random guess. Are you not enjoying this? Because we don't have to do this if you don't want. But, you know, tell me in chat, you know, out of 10, are you happy watching this? Do you want me to move on to the death diving and just finish? Or, like, you know, tell me out of 10. You can make things look like wood, though, look. You can make a cake look like wood. I've had this on the back burner here because I thought I'd just make this point. You can make a cake look like wood, and it doesn't mean it's wood. It just means it's cake, but it looks like wood. And if you don't know how they made the cake, you might just make up the idea that it's wood. Like, you can make cakes look like wood. Look, they look really like wood. It doesn't mean they're wood. So just because something looks like something, we've established here's evidence of the fact that just because something looks like something doesn't mean it is something. Slate rock formation on the coast. This is slate rock, and it's formed on the coast. So again, I'm just guessing. I'm an amateur geologist. Is that a seal lying down that got melted? No, it's a slate rock that's being eroded on the coast. Yeah, and that's how the coastline looks with slate, quartz, and sandstone rock formations there. What if I put Maine into this? Because I wasn't prepared for it being Maine. I didn't realise it was Maine. Maine. What do we call it? It's the bedrock. Main bedrock is Devonian granite. Devonian granite, quartz, diorite, and mostly granite in coastal Maine. So, granite. Granite formation.
We have the Highway Glacier, and behind that, the Penny Ice
She's posh.
Cap, as we've already had a look at. So cratons are these areas of rocks which are making up the interior of continents.
Right, that's complicated. Just give me it, just give me it in 3 seconds.
Granite is some of my favourite rocks.
It's his favourite rock. It's, can we have it in just seconds? Is it volcanic?
All land on our planet started out like this, as lava, cooling and turning into dark, heavy volcanic rock. It would take a dramatic transformation to turn volcanic islands like this into the first continents.
I've got two kinds of rocks here. The first one is this dark, heavy stuff called basalt. This is the kind of rock you find on ocean floors and ocean crusts.
That's interesting. It's not granite.
There might not even be any continents. On the East Coast.
And rocks like this form the stuff of our continents. This one is this dark, heavy
God, I just skipped the bit where he talked about granite.
This is the kind of rock you find on ocean floors and ocean crusts and on ocean islands like... The second kind of rock
There we go.
is lighter in color and it's lighter in weight. It's called granite. And rocks like this form the stuff of our continents.
You can find granite all over the place in North America. From the Appalachians on the East Coast
Mountains.
to the sheer rock faces of Yosemite.
And she might think that looks like a tree. So yeah, we're onto the right stuff here. Also though, shale and slate. Sorry, my dogs are barking. Not my feet, but actual dogs. So I'm just going to quickly play this video about slate and I'm going to go and deal with actual real things.
In this video, I will explain how slate is formed. Slate is formed from clays and other phyllosilicate minerals that are transported by rivers. Once these rivers reach the ocean, the clays are deposited in the bottom. Clays have a flat shape, like playing cards. Because of this, when they fall, they lie flush with the bottom. After millions of years, these deposits can be buried and transformed in nature's oven. The increase in temperature and pressure, together with time, gives birth to slate. The most important property of slate, cleavage, is created by the tectonic forces when they compress the clays. The result...
Because that's what I think it looks like. It looks more like a slate. It looks more like a compressed sediment rock that she's looking at there. So we're either looking at volcanic layers, and if it's granite or it's basalt like that, volcanic, then what will have happened is over time there'll be more layers added on, won't there? And like the way wood looks is because wood looks the way it looks because layers grow. Like you cut down a tree, you see the rings, and that's because they're layers over layers over layers of it growing outward, and it creates layers, doesn't it? And like each year it puts another layer of bark on, like sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Each year it grows out a bit more. I mean, I might have got that completely wrong about a layer of bark, a new layer of bark each year. Don't quote me on that. That was just me being stupid. But you know what I mean? You get those layers in the wood. That's the grain that we see. It's that. No, I think I know off the top of my head what it's made out of as well. Lignin, isn't it? And anyway, the point is you have that layering, and in rock as well. You also get that with the slate. You get that layering because its layers push down on each other, all flat layers. And with this, if it's volcanic, it would spew out over the top, and then the next layer would come, and then the next layer would come in time, built up over time. And then also we know that rocks get pushed up and pushed together. Like there's a lot of geological factors that have gone into making those rocks. Her explanation is it was a fucking giant tree, and it became petrified.
Just like a trunk. If you look at it.
It doesn't look like a tree trunk to me, not at all.
But if you think about antediluvian times and how everything was bigger, it makes sense that this is when these seeming trees would be coming from. But again, the question is, how did they get this way?
And why would they be growing on the beach? Well, I suppose it wouldn't be the beach. It's eroded its way in, so.
Do we have all?
Although, do you believe that because you think you don't think this is erosion of rocks? You think this is an old tree. So.
These gigantic trees, at least it looks like trees. I know what they tell us in science class. I took geology too.
But what do you teach your children?
We know what all the mainstream answers are, but if you actually have the ability to look at things and realize what you're actually looking at, you'll know that what we are taught is not necessarily the facts. It could very well just be because they don't want to go against their evolutionary theory.
No, it's not that they don't want to go against evolutionary theory. It's that they give you the critical thinking skills to evidence this for yourself. Like you can go and find this out for yourself, not just by looking at it and saying it looks a bit like wood, but if you want, you can follow up on this. You could break that down in a test tube and have a look at its makeup under a microscope and all sorts. Like, you could actually go well into this, like, if you wanted to. But like, instead, you're just like videoing it and saying it looks a bit like wood, so fuck them, they're telling me lies. Like, it's...
They want it to make it look like everything is getting better and better over time and not, worse and worse or smaller and smaller. And here we have all of these
worse and worse and smaller and smaller. The world is eventually will shrink away to nothing.
Gigantic trees that seem to be the size that would happen in a habitat that had a higher oxygen content.
Yes, that did happen. I explained that. That did happen. We did used to have bigger trees. Like, we have the evidence of that. It's not this.
So I'm just going through these quickly with you for now. I'm gonna go over them a little bit in more detail. I just want to share this with you. But I thought to myself, okay, well, how do they get this way? Well, let's take a look at that. Okay, so I'm right here on good old Wikipedia, and I just looked up petrified wood because I wanted to see how this wood is petrified.
So how is it acceptable for her to use Wikipedia? Like, why does Wikipedia get a free pass in terms of this is fact? And if it is fact, doesn't it matter that Wikipedia completely contradicts what you're saying about the beach? Because when you look on Wikipedia about, like, the stone on the beach, it tells you that it's not petrified wood. Just because Wikipedia has a petrified wood section doesn't mean you can use it to back up your case, because Wikipedia contradicts your case, so Wikipedia is not allowed to be part of your armory of facts.
And wouldn't you know it, it falls right in with the idea that these trees...
Yeah, big ups, not, like, Yvonne. She's not just, like, educating the kids. She's, like, homeschooling them, which means they don't get any other form of education, I assume. And, like, she has, I think, 7 to 9 children. I can't remember now. But they're all at different stages in education, aren't they? Because they're all different ages. So, on top of that, she's also got to cook their dinner and shit. Must be a fucking nightmare.
Very well could have been petrified during...
Although it might not be that hard if you just go out for a big walk and then just fuck it off for the afternoon, tell them to do their books.
The biblical flood of Noah's time. It says the petrified...
Maybe if you don't believe in any of the stuff you're teaching them, you can just bin it off and teach them this, and then it's easier.
Action, I would think it would say petrification, but anyway, we'll say petrifaction process occurs underground when wood becomes buried in water or volcanic ash. The presence of water reduces the availability of oxygen, which inhibits aerobic decomposition by bacteria and fungi.
Meaning that if you have no oxygen, the wood can't be broken down and decomposed like it would on a compost heap. So it stays in form for longer. And then what happens?
Mineral-laden water flowing through the sediments may lead to permineralization, which occurs when minerals precipitate out of solution, filling the interiors of cells and other empty spaces.
Which means, because she's not going to explain, I don't know if she even understands this, which means that the wood's there and the water's all around it. And in the water there's minerals, right? And the wood's there and it's like a bit of a sponge and there's minerals in the water. There's a lot of minerals in the water and they're going to be there for a long time. The minerals get into the wood. They get in there. The minerals. And you know what minerals are? Tiny little bits of rock. Tiny little bits of rocks. And so instead of the spaces in the wood being like space, even in the cells of the wood, which usually would have space, a nucleus and space and stuff, like even in the cells, that mineral content is getting in there. And eventually there's not so much space in the wood. Eventually there's just a lot of minerals and it seems like it's rock.
During replacement, the plant's cell walls act as a template for mineralization. Why do I have such a hard time with that word? There needs to be a balance between the decay of cellulose and lignin and mineral templating for cellular details.
There's lignin. I knew lignin was in there.
To be preserved with fidelity. Most of the organic matter often decomposes.
So again, she's just not saying what it means. I don't know if she knows what it means. What they're saying is that because the shape of the cells and the wood and the way the wood is, when all that mineral goes in, it's almost like there's a framework there. So when it turns to rock, it stays in the same shape and look as wood. Because it's literally filling in all the blanks. You take away the wood, well, it looks like a concrete bit of wood now, doesn't it? Because it's all got minerals filled in the space. It's like the wood has created a framework and those minerals have filled it in. And so when they talk about fidelity, fidelity is a reproduction of something. We're talking about the ability to reproduce it at a high level, at a high, like, it looks the same, is what they're saying.
However, some of the lignin may remain.
So there might still be some bits of woody bits in there.
Silica in the form of opal A can encrust and permeate wood relatively quickly in hot spring environments. However, petrified wood is most commonly associated with trees that were buried in fine-grained sediments of deltas and floodplains or volcanic lahars and ash beds.
So in order for this to happen, the tree needs to be buried in something where the oxygen can't, so like if the oxygen gets to it, it's going to turn to compost. So it needs to be completely buried. It could happen in water. It could happen in water. There is also a lot of oxygen in water. So maybe, I don't know, like, and like, you know, marine life and stuff, but like it could happen in water, but mainly it's saying here, if it's completely buried in a soft sediment, like, you know, like sandy, muddy beaches or volcanic ash beds. So you might even find some of this petrified wood in the same rock that they're looking in and saying is all. So that would be an interesting thing, wouldn't it? Because on the Wikipedia, for examples of petrified rock that she's talking about, and I've opened up, right, there is actually an example here of a piece of petrified wood within a rock. So this is the rock and that's the wood, yeah? So the rock isn't also the wood, is it? Because the wood has been petrified within this sediment which is formed into rock or volcanic, what is this one? This is from Nacimiento Mine, Cuba, New Mexico. And the brown wood on the right shows conventional silica mineralization. The black wood at the left shows unusual mineralization. So there's a piece here that's done right, and there's a piece here that's gone weird, because it's got chalcolite and other sulfide minerals. The blue-green stains are from the oxidization of the chalcolite to azurite and malachite, but I don't know what kind of wood it is in the Cuban mine. However, this is sorry, I don't know what kind of stone it is in the Cuban mine, but I'm guessing some sort of sedimentary rock, because they just said that this is for all volcanic, because they said that this is, so maybe that's granite and this is formed in the volcanic, like the hot lava rock has gone over it, it's covered up, it can't turn into anything because it can't oxidize, so it's stayed as wood, but then all those minerals have seeped into it over time and it's become petrified wood, around which there is rock. Yeah, so one of the problems that Shelley's got is that if the rock itself is petrified wood, how has it petrified the wood within it? That doesn't make sense. So if you find examples of petrified wood within rock, that rock cannot also be petrified wood. That wouldn't make sense based on the science that she doesn't like science. She doesn't trust science, but based on the science that she herself is reading out off Wikipedia. So let's hope that there's no petrified wood in any of the rock that she thinks is wood. I'll let you into a little secret without even going and checking. There is.
A forest where such material has petrified becomes known as a petrified forest, and they will usually only identify the smaller trees as petrified forests. They will not come out and tell you that these massive structures that we are looking at are petrified trees, which is...
Because also a knock-on idea is that if you're going to have massive petrified trees, then okay, there's enough ocean to do that, and there's enough sort of sediment at the beach, I guess, but you're going to need like to completely cover them in sediment or volcanic rock and ash, and like you're talking about extra size, like you supersize the whole world again, don't you? Like, and I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if the world's been shrinking for the last... I mean, maybe the world has... Maybe it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and we don't notice it because we're on the world and we're also shrinking and everything's shrinking and the atomic force that pushes everything apart is actually just reducing. Like, that is actually a fair concept to raise, because you wouldn't be able to measure anything because all of your measurement tools would be shrinking as well. So, like... And then you wouldn't notice, I suppose, and we'd just be getting ever decreasingly smaller. I suppose you'd be able to measure the distance, the atomic distance between atoms and things, wouldn't you? So you would be able to measure that. Or would your measurement tools be getting ever increasingly smaller? Oh, it's philosophical. I don't think she's thought this through.
In fact, what I believe and what many people believe, they actually are. So now let's go back to these photographs.
Let's go back to these photographs. Yeah, but what about the rest of the fucking Wikipedia that proves you wrong? What about that photograph of the rock inside the rock, like the wood inside the rock? What about this section on formation that talks about how these things are formed, like in greater detail? Microorganisms and scientific words. Paleozoic formations. Well, you don't believe in those, do you? So maybe just bin this off. You know, all the science about the history of the geology. Maybe just bin that off then. We'll go back to these pictures.
And just take a closer look at what we're actually seeing here. So this certainly looks like the bark of a tree.
Well, no, it looks like the bark of a tree. Well, I mean, I've seen a cake that looks like the bark of a tree. It looks like other things as well. It looks like rock.
The wood grain. Anyone who would think that this was something smaller would look at this.
It looks like a Cadbury's flake.
And say, oh, well, that's just tree bark. Yet here we have an entire beach covered with it. And I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Yes, this looks like one massive fallen tree.
The thing is, as well, from what I've just learned about the creation of sediment, of petrified wood, it's possible and plausible that you could have a very large amount of wood petrified, and it would be revealed by the erosion of the coast, and that's really plausible. So then what you'd do is you take a sample of that and you put it under the microscope and you'd say, look, it's minerals formed into the shape of wooden structure cells. Like, there's still even some lignin in here. That's petrified wood. Or you'd say, look at the uniform formation of all the crystalline structures within this rock. This is rock. There's none of those wooden structure, cell structure, any of that. This is rock. So all you need to do is just go and look a bit more deeply than with a photograph.
And here we have another.
It would have to be a very large tree, but in prehistoric times we had large trees. But again, she doesn't believe in those times. But, you know, we did. So, but they're not still. And yeah.
Look at
the size of the tree would have to be incredibly large, yeah. And then if it was, why is there only one massive? Like, you'd need loads of them, because we just could do with just one or two trees back then. So surely there'd be a lot more evidence of fucking giant, massive petrified trees everywhere. And she's going to turn around and say, yes, there is. Look at the mountains. That's what they all are. So, yeah.
What seems to be broken apart tree bark. And again, I'm going to share some photos with you of actual trees to show you that there are so many similarities. We see things like this all the time with the little broken pieces. And I know that Hangman 1128 on his channel, he will find these smaller pieces in the forest to show you, look, this is what happens to wood. And here we have these much larger examples. I tried going on Google to find something similar to this, and I didn't know what to type in.
Google. How are Google going to provide you? Google's going to give you the scientific answers that you don't believe. Google. That's what I mean. I told you about this earlier. That's what really does my head. It's how can you turn around and say, oh, but I'm going to use Wikipedia and Google to evidence this. When underlying your whole premise is that Google and Wikipedia and people like that are lying to you.
So it was not easy. But I found some that are very similar that I will share with you in just a moment. This, even the ends of it, looks, it's very straight, very flat, just like...
It's because it's broken off like a rock.
Pieces of wood. And
wood doesn't break off straight and flat unless it's being sawn. So you're suggesting this is the remnants of an old sawmill?
Some photos that I took of the area that I live look very, very similar to this as well. And what they, and I know that
And that one's then, it's been sheared off flat and then it's eroded down, hasn't it?
I'm going to get a lot of comments telling me those are rocks, and they're going to be telling me all different types of rocks that they are. Okay.
I don't leave people comments. I can't be asked with it. I talk about it on my show.
I know that that's what science says, but we have eyes, and this certainly even looks splintered here. So
it's rock. It splinters off.
And we also know that science, unfortunately, has...
That one looks quite a lot like a bit of... Well, no, not exactly like a bit of wood. Because actually bits of wood don't quite look exactly... But, well...
It's become scientism in many cases. And we can't always believe what the narrative is. Because if there is an agenda behind it, then we can be certain that we're not going to get the truth if the...
Right, so you can't always believe the narrative, because if there's an agenda behind it, we can't get the truth. On the other hand, Shelley, there is an agenda behind the narrative that you preach, which is that Jesus, thumbs up. God, thumbs up, yeah? Happy with that, I am. But the organised, very right-wing, evangelical aspect of the church in America, and let's be real, people think that some clandestine Jews are running the world and they've stolen all the monies. If you look into who's got a lot of monies in America, the evangelical and the right wing and the orthodox established churches have fucking loads of monies. Like, they've got loads of the land and loads of the monies. It happens in Europe and it happens in America as well, and they use that monies to lobby the government, specifically a sort of conservative ideal, and it goes through to things like, and I don't want to get a bit too political, but, you know, ideas like abortion, a very heavily, like the whole debate is basically a sort of pseudo-Christian debate about the sanctity of life. It goes through to so many aspects of our Americanized culture, ours is as well, but Western culture, and they lobby the government. And the idea that you shouldn't teach kids science and instead should teach them creationism, that's actually there's an agenda behind that. An agenda, yeah. Like there is. Like the idea that like it goes on to homophobia and transphobia. There's an agenda behind transphobia, and it's the Christian evangelical right-wing agenda again. And so whether she knows it or not, she might just really love the Bible and believe in the Bible, and that's reasonably fair enough. But if she's educated, she would then learn Aramaic and learn what, she'd go back and study the Bible before it got retranslated and translated and translated. She'd want to really get into the Bible, but instead she seems to just be indoctrinated with the politics of the right wing in America, which align with the evangelical aspects of the Christian movement. Like some people might say Christians, Jesus said love everyone, didn't he? Like love everyone. So some people might say that would include gay people, and that love thy neighbour, although it doesn't mean to have to physically suck them off, might mean that you should just allow people to live and let live. And Jesus preached a lot of love, so that Jesus wouldn't have a problem. This is theology you can talk about, you can debate it if you want, like whether Jesus would have a problem with homosexuality and would preach for, against, or abstain in the argument, allow people to make their own choices. Like to some people, religion means that gay people should be banned and like pray the gay away and all sorts. And the world that Shelley's sort of preaching the ethics and ideals of through her work in this way, this creationism argument, this rejection of science, actually is part of their agenda. So it's really weird, because like science, the agenda of science is that everyone's allowed to get in on it, check it, have a go, poke around, and then agree whether it's the truth. And it's just to get to the truth of what's going on, to find out what's happening. That's the agenda of science. So the exact opposite of what she's suggesting is true, that she thinks that there's an agenda by the mainstream and science and things like that to sort of shut her down, because they're basically saying what you're doing is nonsense. Like, we reject it, it's nonsense. And she's like, oh, that's your agenda. But she's actually working on behalf of people who do have an agenda. Wow.
Truth makes the narrative look, give it less credibility. If these were smaller and charred, these would just look like pieces of wood that I have left over from the fire pit.
Yeah, but I showed you a cake that looks like a piece of wood, so it doesn't matter what things look like from the naked eye. Clouds look like dogs.
In our yard. But again, these are all on a beach, and what the narrative will tell you is, oh, those are rocks.
You don't have to listen.
Certainly.
Shelley, you don't have to question the narrative in this way. You don't have to accept the narrative. Find out what those things are. Take a sample, put it under a microscope, learn about the different geology, learn what you're looking at, give me a report. If you find that these are cells, and even if you want to increase the size of the cell, put the mineral content in, the lignin might still be present. If you can find evidence that this is petrified wood, science will simply accept it. There's no problem with that. That's how you've got a Wikipedia page with petrified wood, the whole process, examples of it. Science is not afraid of petrified wood. Doesn't even matter if it's a big bit of wood. Science would turn around and say this entire beach is made of petrified wood if you could prove it. Please, can we move on? Okay, no problem. We have made the point now. Fair enough. Thank you, Admit Audacity, for the super chat.
I've been watching my life evolve and how I've become a better person,
So go on then. We'll finish on the high point of the death diving. Let me find the death diving. We'll finish on the high point. I've promised you sexy death diving all night. Let's watch some sexy death diving. He did a high kick. How's he got blood on his head?
There, buddy. That's what DODS is all about. A little bit.
That's what DODS is all about, just living for the moment. Just absolutely going for it. I did the overhead kick. I cracked my head on the diving board on the way down. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Oh, you were enjoying that, were you, Steve? Sorry. Like, everyone's got different takes on different things. I know we throw up different ideas. I do think it's fair enough as, like, I don't want to light on it too long, and I think I've made my point on it, really. I think she's going to continue to labour the point. I think her point is things look like rocks, and I've made the point that there's a science behind it. So, yeah, I think it's a good moment to move on. Thank you, Yvonne, for the super chat. Thank you very much. If you want your super chats read out, I'll remind you, thank you, that you can do the coffee.com as well, which is, I'll give you the link in chat, and it will read it out. So if you want me to hurry up any quicker and you want it to be drawn to my attention again, we can have a vote on these things in the future if you want, but I won't take any of your opinions into account. Just like the impending election.
That's what DODS all about.
Did he knee himself in the forehead? Is that how he's damaged himself? Did he knee himself in the head?
That's what DODS all about. A little bit of carnage, you know?
Carnage, mate. You see, listen, this has changed, hasn't it, since I showed you the first 2018, like, way back 2018. We're now in 2023. This one is. We're waiting for this year's World Championships. This is last year's. But it's changed. It's evolved. It's moved on. It's got a bit more excite. You know? And they want to dress it up like it's one of these extreme sports, and I love it so much because it's the most ludicrous, laughable extreme sport, because it's jumping off a diving board with no skill or anything. It's just hurling yourself off the diving board and doing the Superman, and then you have to crash in on a belly flop, but don't hurt yourself on the belly flop. You sort of tuck in. Like, actual diving exists, and they do, like, the pike and the axe, you know, they do all that, and, you know, that looks great. There's form and there's balance and control. You know, give it a bit of the old Tom Daly. This is just like spring break nutters hurling themselves off a cliff. And that's how they started. And then they score them. They give them like grades and results. You know, was that a good dive or not? And you don't know if it's good or not, because it's like skateboarding without a skateboard. With a skateboard, you do a trick, you can tell he did a 360. On this, he did a 360 and threw his leg over there and went like that. And then, like, is it a good... So that's why I love it so much. It's the most easy to ridicule of the extreme sports. They're trying to turn it into an extreme sport, and they all seem to have a really good time at the event, don't they? Look, but is it an extreme sport, or are you just jumping off the big diving board? Oh, we've had some fun watching these in the past. I will say I do prefer the ladies' event, because obviously it's ladies jumping off the diving board, but you can all get a load of these hot men.
Today.
And I'll get a load of them too, look.
It's the day.
Because to be fair, like, let's be fair, right? I'm not gay, but I can tell that he's quite a good-looking young man. You know, he might be a bit of a jock or whatever, but he's quite a good-looking young man, and he likes jumping off the diving board, and he's young and healthy and fit, so fair play to him. I bet he gets loads of saucy chicks after his great performance jumping off the big diving board.
That I got a wild card because
He reminds me of Shane off Neighbours.
all summer in the vlogs I've been hustling to try to get the golden ticket, but I suddenly just got a wild card. And you're scared.
And he might get loads of boys, each to their own.
You turn into a girl.
No, he gets loads of girls, look. Kim. Some random girl in their flat.
Look how big it is now.
What's going on with her foot? I don't want to see her foot. Let's go to the event.
12 and 16-year-olds. They were training yesterday, throwing some crazy shit.
Oh my god. They just said the 12 and 13-year-olds are getting in on it now. This is the effect, is that they watch them on YouTube and then they get in. Like, so these are the probably not the originators. These are probably the trailblazers, like the vanguard, the like the first big movement in DODS, this crew, I reckon. Like, they're one of the I don't know, the early, you know, like the early adopters, do you remember the early skateboard crew, the early surfers? They're like that, right? And then the next generation are all going to get into it. But unlike skateboarding or rollerblading, where you can just sell loads of them in the shops and everyone can do it, this is just for the kids that want to jump off the big diving board. So
I'm going super like old school this year.
it's going super old school. This thing's been going for like 10 years.
Be someone that's not Norwegian that makes it to the second round.
And also, Norwegian, it's got its origins in Norway, because jumping off a cliff in Norway seems to be something to do, because there's probably less to do overall.
That's like, yeah, bro.
It kind of feels very Scandinavian, the whole thing of jumping off the big board, but this crew have really sort of Californiaized it as well. So
See what happens.
you know, I imagine it's cold.
What a season it has been!
They have seasons. We should get into it more. We should watch more of it because as we build up to the World Championships, we'll watch some of the this year's World Tour. But I wanted to start off with last year's World Champs because it's an easy, straightforward one, isn't it? Right.
This year we've got a full crowd. Everybody's excited to be here. And
Do you know this guy?
look who is up now.
Do you recognise him?
Ken.
Do you recognise him? I actually recognise him. Made all the girls scream. Norwegian jumps off into ice. It's this guy. He jumps off the cliffs, and he's a death diver, isn't it? Is it this guy? Like, this is what I mean. This is how it starts. Like, this is the origins. Like, this isn't as far old as, but jumping off cliffs like nutters, yeah. That's the world. That's 100 foot. You can see why they call it death diving, can't you? This one isn't about the style. There's no points for style here. This is just purely 100 foot. Bosh! And didn't he do it dressed as God of War? Didn't he do it? That's why he's got the axe. Didn't he do it dressed as God of War? Real life Kratos. Here you go.
Witness the heart-stopping moment as a daring enthusiast of Norwegian origin fearlessly leaps from a staggering height.
He's got the axes, because God of War is a computer game where you play as this guy with the axes in old mythology and all that, and he's effectively cosplaying as this guy from the computer game by jumping 100 feet into a frozen lake with axes.
Exceeding 100 feet, reaching
so there's a sort of Viking aspect to this.
Speeds of up to 100 kilometers per hour. Only to make a breathtaking splash into the waters below.
Bosh! Like, fucking insane, isn't it? Like, it's insane.
You thought Vikings and their berserkers had totally disappeared. Then you clearly haven't...
And, like, that's what started... I mean, this whole concept of jumping off cliffs isn't new, is it? But like, if someone was going to go and jump off a cliff, would you? If they're going to go and jump off a cliff? Well, now it's big business. It's X Games. It's I don't think they've got onto the Red Bull sponsorship quite yet, but they really are pushing that way with it.
Storness. You may or may not have seen him on Instagram, retweeted by no other than Elon Musk. This guy is a high-flying Viking with style.
Ah!
Oh, that was so good. With the pyro, the flames, he's excited.
Heroic. Right. Look what they're doing. They're doing it proper. I love it. Do you know what? The people who are doing this have actually got their heads screwed on, to be fair. Like, why not dress it up as professionally as you can? Come on with the flags. Why not be like, they are all good-looking, healthy young people. Okay, so why not just, like, go out and be, like, you know, superstars in your own field, so to speak, and make it look as, like... But ultimately, what it falls down with for me is that they're not, like, if this was a real dive, like, we do have real diving competitions with, like, professional divers and stuff. Like, this is like taking that and saying, right, we're going to go freestyle. It's skateboarding. We'll do what we want, you know, instead of it's like freestyle skiing. We've already got the skiing. Now we're freestyle skiing. This is freestyle diving, essentially. But they do have a diving competition called the freestyle, and they basically do all the, like, the really difficult tricks. So here, some of these probably can't do the difficult tricks, but they can do the Superman or do the one where they look like they're running. Have you ever done that off the big diving board? Have you ever done that? I know. Well, listen, you haven't gone 100 feet. I haven't gone 100 feet off the big dive. I think I did it once. I think I used to be into, when I was a swimmer, when I was a younger kid, I did swimming lessons and all that, you know, when I was a swimmer, and I did go up the diving boards, and I remember once it was closed off and I was told you can't go up the height, you know, and I remember once it wasn't, so I can remember looking out over the thing. I can't remember if I jumped off or not, but I think I probably did, because fuck it, why wouldn't I have done? Like, it's only a diving board really high up, you know, just jumped off it, like, I think I did. I remember being up there and seeing how high it is, for sure. I mean, I've been up the top of the ski jump, and I looked over the ski jump, and I didn't go down the ski jump. I mean, that's insanity. But like, this is okay. There's some, you know, you have to have some balls to go and jump off the big diving board, and there's some flair and skill involved. But as you will see, and I won't labour the point too much, I'll call it out when I see it, some of these jumps will literally just be like some nutter jumping off the big diving board and, like, you know, pulling the Superman. So, like, let's see what they've got for us this year. Let's see the evolution of death diving. This is 2023 World Championships. We've got the World Tour to look at before the new World Championships comes out this summer. So.
You're looking for technique. Do you look good? Do you look poised in the air? They want power. And they want style.
What was that?
The judges, however, it was a little under-rotated.
Under-rotated?
He brought a water gun.
He's got a gun. That guy, right? This guy, he's got a water gun, yeah? And he's jumped. And look. He's shot the water gun at the judges. And then he has to turn around and make sure he doesn't break his back when he enters the water. And that's his jump.
That trick is called a loop.
Look at this. All getting cuddles. Yeah, we'll look at Mark Williams' 3-day promise on Twitter. Actually, I'm getting really late now, aren't I? It's nearly 11 o'clock. Fuck, I didn't realise. But we're going to look at that over on the other... I've got to finish. I've got to do what I said. Like, yeah.
6.63. Right on, Paco. Right on, brother.
And now one of the...
There he is.
One of the superstars
You can see why they're all clapping him, can't you? They all like him.
from Norway.
Big popular amongst the ladies.
He is a back-to-back world champion.
Back-to-back world champion. I didn't know that.
He won in 2016 and 2017. He's one of the style gods in the sport.
A style god.
Personally love jumping with this guy. Always brings the vibe.
It's raining, but he's wiped his feet off. Are you ready? This is the style god.
Always brings high energy.
Let's see what he's got.
That was so sick. Right on, man.
So you do have to pretend that he's cool when you're like, oh, you're so cool. Oh, I love the way you kick your leg over. You have to pretend. You do have to pretend.
He kicks like a martial artist.
Like a martial artist.
Slightly feet heavy. I don't know if the judges are going to deduct for that or
Will the judges deduct points for the weight of his feet? I don't.
not, but I mean, all looks so nice.
Bearing in mind with Mark Williams' promise, though, I see what you're saying in chat. Like, Mark Williams promised he'd find him in 3 days. He only promised that. It was promised on the contingency that everyone cooperates. So you can turn around and say that those men from England didn't cooperate, so he didn't find him, so that's their fault. You don't have to accept the blame. I mean, Peter Folding made promises about things when he arrived at the river, didn't he, with Nicola Bullis?
Oh, yeah. All right, they like that. They definitely like that. 7.73.
Big score there, big score.
Is in the lead.
Oscar Rød from Norway.
Someone throw him off.
He just landed no hands.
That one was actually quite good. I like that one. It looked like someone threw him off.
He just landed.
He looked like he was unconscious before he hit the water.
I like that. 7.73. Trolls is in the lead.
Oscar Rød from Norway.
He just landed no hands.
Up and
Bosh.
coming Norwegian talent.
Backflips. I think that was quite good. I mean, I can't really tell exactly what happened after the backflip.
So he does gainers.
Backflip and then what?
Dang, he put that.
It's a bit skateboardy, isn't it? But without the skateboard. Yeah.
I love his last name because he really does pop up. Showcases a lot of power.
Even with some blood, bro. Got blood there, buddy. No big deal. We're good. That's what DODS all about. A little bit of carnage, you know?
A little bit of carnage, you know? I don't know how he damaged himself doing that, but he did. Right, we'll skip on a bit because like people want me on the other channel talking about other nonsense. We need to see who wins, don't we? No, we don't. We just, it doesn't matter. That looks incredibly dangerous. What you've done there looks incredibly dangerous. Are there any rules, any limits on how dangerous you can... Like, are there any limits or rules on how dangerous you can be on the board? Because if you slip here... Like, if you... Like, a diving flip... Like a flip... Like, forward moving... It's wet, it's raining... All it takes is for one person to fuck up, and they don't seem like the most responsible bunch of people, do they? Like, all it takes is for one slip there, you crack your head before you get off the board, and then you fall in the water, and there's real trouble. He didn't even... What did he even benefit from doing that? Because now he's launching himself into the water from this position, so he's lost any height and trajectory that he would have had by performing a flip on the diving board itself. Brilliant. Laughing like a loon.
Alltså det är lite le-lyft då. Kim said they want something new, so...
Alright, let's see what Ryan is gonna put down. This guy...
That looked like he nearly hurt himself.
Let's see what Ryan is gonna put down.
He's over there in a backflip, in a front flip, sorry, and that looks like, okay, you've got the front flip, but then the grabbing of the feet and the sudden realisation we're going to hit the water. Wow! No, he actually goes over again, doesn't he? Like, he does like an extra, oh, that's scary.
Alright, that was sick for you. Alright, Ryan, I see you, man.
I think that'll get you in the next round, yeah, probably.
His sport, he is dedicated to being skillful at this.
Speaking of crafts, this sport.
There we go. Finally, we got a Superman. All right, I'm done with it. Don't care who wins. We'll look at it another time. Rah! Nutterwatch, 3.5 hours of it. You've had it. You enjoy it. You get that across your chest. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Get a flight kiss on the way before touchdown.
Where's me songs?
Watch again. Here we go. It's Nutterwatch again. Here we go. It's time for all your friends and noters. I know you love the Nutters. It's Friday time again. Nutterwatch and Nutters. I know you love the Nutters. It's Friday time again. Nutterwatch and Nutters. Shut up and watch the show. It's Nutterwatch again.
There is no trouble.
Here we go. It's time for all your friends and nutters.
AD.
The nutters.
AD is
It's Friday
sex
time
deviant.
again.
AD's a comma. AD's a crook. AD owes tax. There is no child porn on the internet. I hate to warn you that. There is no child porn on the internet. I checked. Harassment or unwanted behaviour that makes someone feel degraded, humiliated or offended. True threats of violence, serious expressions of intent. I know it's childish. AD.
Watch again. Here we go. It's Nutterwatch again. Here we go. It's time for all your friends and noters. I know you love the Nutters. It's Friday time again. Nutterwatch and Nutters. Shut up and watch the show. Oh, it started with a vegan nutter. Doing Rider is a douche from long ago. Then it picked back up with the Angry Alan saga now. Nutterwatch is every Friday, and the internet is full of them, so we will never run out.
You are a few kings, a few aces short of a full deck. You still got the 2s and 3s, but you are the dark side of the force. I'm Ben Kenobi, of course. The less we say about Luke, the better. This track
Oh yeah, you be good, and if you can't be good, you're naughty.
is for Eddie's and Eddie's vendetta. So it's good night, Vienna. I melt you like a Viennetta. I'm like a Viking Icelander, come to take you to Valhalla. But you are gonna hell, you are not a light warrior. Eddie, you a devil, I swear there's something wrong with you. Eddie talking to his granddad like Norman Bates talks to his mother. Eddie is a motherfucker, cause Eddie is a psycho, a real cream cracker. Eddie, you're a nutter. Eddie said chlamydia, but I don't give a fuck. Cuck, Eddie, what's got into you? You don't even get a suck. You lucky you got this far with that limited skill set. Did you forget I am the best? And you should bow down and feel blessed. You are impressed. I know you love chuffer. You greasier than butter. Keep spending your bread on subs for me, you nutter. Nobody wants to be close to you. You are firmly in the gutter, stuck in the shade turn. You can roll and glitter, put a wig on it, but we can all see what it is. We can all smell it. Eddie, you are a stinker, you bet we don't forget it. You are a liar, a misogynist, and worst of all, your taste in music trash. DJ, have you been cleaning your tracks? So many criminal records. Eddie, I play chess, although the Masons like the checkers. You stink like old geezers. You bet weather, you cowardly attacker and runner off, and no wonder you're alone. I bet you didn't love your own mother. I know you hear it when I say your name, brother. We know that you're a nutter. We know that you are a sheep. Tailor you from what's left of your hair and just leave. Eddie talking to his granddad like Norman Bates talks to his mother. Eddie is a motherfucker, cause Eddie is a psycho, a real cream cracker. Eddie, you're a nutter.
And thank you for all the gifted memberships, and thank you for everyone that became a member. Thank you for everyone that renewed their membership while we were offline as well. I don't forget it, I see it. Thank you. And thank you for all the people that give me a tippy, and thank you for everyone that just comes here and watches as well. Thank you for being here right at the end. I'll switch over to Twitch in a little bit. I'll just get myself a cup of tea, and you know, we'll carry on with a long night of talking nutters. But I'll be back again around the way. You be good. If you can't be good, you're naughties.